bloodline. You could even be considered a descendant of the master. The man wore an expression of great interest. I never expected that a weak human could withstand the violent power of demonic blood and not explode after refining the demonic factors. You are truly extraordinary. He naturally didn't know that the demonic blood Zhou Yun refined had been purified by the system. I am the master of this dragon palace. Over the years, in order to maintain a dazed and confused state and prolong the existence of my soul, I have exhausted all things of value. You've already been to the alchemy room, haven't you? He looked at Zhou Yun, sighed, and slowly said. Besides the alchemy room you visited, the treasure vault here, the weapon refining room, the cultivation technique pavilion, and so on. They've all been used up. You won't gain anything by going there. As he spoke, his figure gradually turned translucent and slowly became ethereal. He was not a living being, but a remnant soul, a wisp of divine consciousness, that had long since died. But thinking about it, it makes sense. Too much time has passed. The sir he mentioned may have long since disappeared. How could he possibly have survived to this day in his prime? Moreover, if he were truly alive, how could he possibly be content to stay in this empty dragon palace for so long without ever leaving? Zhou Yun's lips twitched slightly. I originally thought it was that ruthless bandit who would dig 3 feet into the ground and not let a single hair go. Unexpectedly, it was someone else who made it. If it's your own stuff, what's wrong with digging 3 feet into the ground? Are you going to stop people from doing renovations? My remaining soul can only last another 100 years at most. I don't know if there's any hope of seeing you return from the ashes. Upon hearing this, Zhou Yun's heart skipped a beat. What did he say? Rebirth from nirvana? Is that fallen demon not dead, and could he possibly be reborn from the ashes? What level of strength would it take for a powerful expert to accomplish this? Zhou Yun could never have imagined it. He suddenly remembered the identity of that demon. According to the murals Zhou Yun saw, he was a 6-winged angel who fell from grace and deliberately became a demon. Could this be an attempt at a path to nirvana? Then I thought of the black and white pieces on the chessboard, locked in a fierce struggle. Is this yet another experience of nirvana? Senior, I once saw some mural carvings in a cave. Zhou Yun waved his hand and used his divine sense to simulate and project those murals. He wanted to know the contents of those carved murals in the middle, which might involve some unparalleled secrets unknown to ordinary people. I wonder if this man's remnant soul is aware of this. However, after seeing the murals that Zhou Yun showed me, the man shook his head. I am merely a carp that Master casually conjured. Although I follow Master, I am nothing more than a casual act in his eyes, and he is unaware of many secrets. The man admitted it. That gentleman's casual enlightenment gave him real life, made him truly conscious, and freed him from confusion and ignorance. These words truly shocked Zhou Yun. Randomly applied guidance? A carp transforming into a dragon? For a moment, he didn't know what to think. That sir was terrifying. Not only did he undergo a nirvana, but he also fought against the heavens alone, battling against countless enemies. After being severely injured, he used the blood of angels to undergo a nirvana-like transformation into a demon. It can even transform all things with a single thought, turning an ordinary carp into a true dragon? Right. Transform into a dragon. At this moment, the man in blue seemed to remember something, and a glint of light suddenly flashed in his eyes. Your name is Zhou Yun, right? When you first entered the Dragon Palace, I think I heard them mention your name. Zhou Yun nodded. It seems this guy didn't just discover them now, but rather he noticed these 3 uninvited guests the moment he entered the Dragon Palace. Since you obtained the heavenly demon blood essence from the Master, and you have endured the terrifying power of the heavenly demon blood, you have awakened the Azure Heaven demon body. Then, you and your teacher will be bound by cause and effect, sharing the same blood and origin, and becoming each other's disciple and son. Whether you agree or not, cause and effect exist, and blood ties exist. His expression suddenly became extremely serious. And I, the king, am the dragon enlightened by you, sir. I shall repay your kindness in gratitude. I have a secret method for transforming into a dragon. Although it was created casually by you, it will still benefit me for life. And for you at present, this should be an extremely rare secret technique. Today, I will impart to you the method of transforming into a dragon. As soon as he finished speaking, golden light shone brightly on his body, like a blazing sun, flashing brilliantly. Zhou Yun's eyes widened in surprise. Is there really such a good thing? A secret technique delivered right to your doorstep? If this were in a novel, wouldn't this be the treatment of a protagonist? But thinking about it, I'm a transmigrator with a system, and I even picked up a wife who's as beautiful as an angel at the start. The script they received was probably a protagonist template, so it's understandable that they've encountered this situation. Zhou Yun's thoughts were in turmoil, but he was also excited. A few minutes later, the golden light slowly faded away. The man remained standing in the same spot, but his body seemed to have become even weaker and more transparent. If he could have held on for another 100 years. Now, it seems that in another 50 or 60 years, the true spirit will dissipate and vanish. A thick, coiled dragon pillar appeared before Zhou Yun. The entire dragon pillar shimmered with golden light, with divine dragons coiling around it, exuding immense power. This is the ascending dragon pillar. The secret technique for transforming into a dragon is contained within. Chapter 64, The Trial Begins, Sky-Splitting Hand. The law should not be lightly transmitted, and the principles should not be lightly discussed. Even if I intend to pass on the dragon transformation technique to you, you still need to undergo trials to prove your strength and potential before you can successfully take the dragon transformation technique. The man in blue said proudly. This dragon pillar can be said to be the most precious thing he created during his lifetime. His subconscious mind, which had always kept the dragon pillar sealed within his memory, did not want it to be damaged in the slightest. So, all these years, in order to replenish its energy and prolong its existence, this remnant soul almost emptied the entire dragon palace, yet the dragon pillar remained completely undamaged. Of course, you too can also go and try it out. How far you go and what rewards you receive will depend on your fortune and strength. After speaking, the man in blue disappeared, leaving only the enormous dragon-shaped pillar in place. Such a good thing? Brother Yun, you've struck it rich. Feng Huihong was excited. He hadn't said a word before, thinking that Brother Yun was communicating with such an important person, and that if he spoke up rashly, it would displease the man in blue. Unexpectedly, he was also eligible for the trial. As long as he proved his strength, he might even be able to inherit powerful martial arts techniques. Wu Wan was also very excited, her face full of eagerness. Zhou Yun nodded. It seems that the most precious thing in this dragon palace is the inheritance inside this coiled dragon pillar. Come on, let me see what's going on. Then, he took a step forward, reached out a hand, and gently covered the dragon pillar. The next second, the golden light from the pillar flowed down Zhou Yun's arm and completely enveloped him. Then, his figure transformed into a golden divine light and instantly disappeared into the Panlong pillar. Beside them, Feng Huihong and Wu Wan also touched the Panlong pillar one after the other in the same way to enter the trial space inside. Darkness, as far as the eye can see, is complete darkness. Zhou Yun opened his eyes, but could not see anything at all. It wasn't until a few minutes later that he felt his feet touch solid ground, and then some light gradually appeared around him. The ground was soft underfoot, like stepping on a patch of mud. Zhou Yun, however, felt a scorching heat on the soft mud. This felt somewhat familiar to him. This feels a bit like lava that's slowly cooling down. He recalled the scene from the land of fire spirits. Roar! Just then, a tiger's roar echoed throughout the space, interrupting Zhou Yun's thoughts. Tiger demon? What a coincidence! His eyebrows twitched slightly upwards, a hint of surprise in his eyes. Previously, there was a very powerful tiger demon in the fire spirit land, but that tiger demon died at the hands of that golden divine bird, and Zhou Yun never fought against it. Unexpectedly, the first trial in the trial space inside the Panlong pillar was against a tiger demon. However, this tiger demon looked even more imposing than the tiger he had encountered in the fire spirit land. Its limbs are strong and powerful, full of explosive strength, and each of its 4 tiger claws is burning with a ball of fire, making it look extremely ferocious. It has wings on its back, surrounded by dark demonic flames, and exudes a chilling aura. A pair of tiger-like eyes, as big as copper bells, stared intently at Zhou Yun, letting out a furious roar, exuding killing intent. Roar! After the tiger roared, it moved instantly. With a flap of its wings, it floated and leaped into the air, its 2 pairs of wings like 2 dark, blazing celestial blades, burning with surging flames, slashing towards Zhou Yun. At the same time, its incredibly thick front claws were also tearing at Zhou Yun's neck. Its sharp edge flashes, and once struck, one will inevitably be decapitated and shattered. However, Zhou Yun showed no sign of panic. The first challenge, fighting against demonic beasts of the same cultivation level? This trial by the dragon pillar is underestimating me. This tiger demon looks fierce and imposing, but its cultivation level is not high. It is not difficult to tell from its bloodline aura that it is just a peak first-tier demon beast. It is on par with the 10-star Chi warriors of the human race. For others, fighting against monsters of the same level is quite difficult. Firstly, these demonic beasts all possess powerful bloodline secret techniques, while humans of the same level have few methods, only a handful of martial arts moves. Secondly, at the same level, generally speaking, the physical bodies of demonic beasts are stronger than those of humans at the same level. When the two clash, sometimes the monster doesn't even need to make a move. A single fierce charge is enough to overwhelm the human opponent, leaving them instantly severely injured. However, those are normal human beings. Zhou Yun, however, is clearly not normal. He has awakened the heavenly demon body. How can he be treated like an ordinary human martial artist? He showed no panic as the tiger pounced on him. He focused his energy in his dantian, clenched his fist, and felt the purple gold star energy coursing through his meridians, empowering his fist and giving him immense power. Wild Bull Power! Zhou Yun roared and threw a punch. The fist slashed across the air, creating a roar like that of an ancient, savage tiger, extremely ferocious. The next second, a fist imprint landed on the tiger demon's body. It made a loud thud. In an instant, blood rained down and body parts flew out. The tiger exploded and died under Zhou Yun's punch, without even being able to utter a painful groan. He walked without experiencing any pain. Too easy. Is this the first level? Could you make it a little more difficult? Zhou Yun shook his head and muttered a complaint. A few seconds later, the tiger demon's corpse completely disappeared. Even the falling blood rain vanished completely, as if it had never existed at all. At this moment, the voice of the man in blue echoed throughout the trial space. Successfully passed the first hurdle. Received the martial arts reward sky-splitting hand. A dark purple ancient book appeared before Zhou Yun. He stretched out his hand, glanced at the object, and then revealed an excited expression. It was just defeating a small, peak-level first-tier monster. To obtain a second-tier martial arts skill so easily is just too easy. Moreover, this martial arts manual was clearly chosen specifically for Zhou Yun by the man in blue. If it were an ordinary person, the power unleashed by using the sky-splitting hand would be average. However, Zhou Yun possesses the Azure Heaven demon body, and the star energy within his body is no different from demonic energy. The sky-splitting hand he unleashes using this as a medium is as powerful as a third-tier martial skill. Thank you, senior. Zhou Yun shouted at the surrounding air with a serious expression. Although he couldn't see him, Zhou Yun knew that the man in blue must be paying attention to what was happening here. Since we have received this person's kindness, it is only right that we show respect to them as juniors. The surrounding darkness receded slightly, and some light appeared around Zhou Yun. The man in blue's voice rang out again. The second trial. Start. Chapter 65, The Golden Thunder Clan, Demonic Roars Across the Nine Heavens. Rumble. Rumble. Thunderous sounds resounded throughout the heavens and earth. Zhou Yun looked up and seemed to realize that the surrounding darkness had disappeared and light had appeared in his field of vision. Those are such heavy dark clouds in the sky. Zhou Yun frowned and immediately noticed something was wrong. The clouds in the sky are too thick. Furthermore, golden bolts of lightning flashed continuously among the clouds. A powerful and imposing pressure descended from above the clouds. Dark clouds loom over the city, threatening to crush it. In the sky. Zhou Yun's expression was solemn, his eyes fixed on the distant sky. The enemy in the sky put a lot of pressure on him. This person is very strong. Rumble. A bolt of lightning suddenly appeared, tearing apart the dark clouds on both sides. The next second, a powerful figure clad in golden armor descended from the sky. Armor gleams in the sunlight, like golden scales unfolding. Thump! The figure clad in golden armor landed with a thud, his feet striking the ground with a loud thud. Like a meteorite falling from the heavens, it shook the earth and caused mountains to tremble. He simply reached out and a golden divine sword appeared in his hand, its blade crackling with lightning, looking both mystical and powerful. Golden Thunder Clan. A branch of the Thunder God Clan. Then, the voice of the man in blue rang in Zhou Yun's ears. We are at the same level as you, both are 10-star Chi warriors. You have obtained a drop of the Master's essence blood, and awakened the heavenly demon body. With such a powerful physique, if you can't even defeat a mere junior from the Golden Thunder Clan, then you are not qualified to obtain the Dragon Transformation secret technique. Zhou Yun snorted lightly, neither agreeing nor disagreeing with the man in blue's attempt to provoke him. Whether they are strong or weak, you'll only know after you fight. Making threats before a battle is not in his nature. Base. The valiant and powerful Jinlei clansman stepped forward, Gripping his thunder sword, the cold blade aimed at Zhou Yun's throat. Crack! The sword light was incredibly fast, like a bolt of lightning, and instantly reached Zhou Yun. A mocking look appeared in the eyes of the Jinlei clan man. It seemed to be mocking Zhou Yun's weakness, that he couldn't even block one of his swords. The next second, Zhou Yun moved. He raised his right fist and slammed it straight at the sharp sword. His fist was covered with a purple gold divine light, like divine iron that had been condensed and cast. Bang! Zhou Yun exchanged blows with the Jinlei clan man, bare-handed. In an instant, a resounding clang of metal echoed throughout the entire space. Sparks flew everywhere. A tremendous tremor erupted, and both sides took a step back. The Jinlei clan man's eyes were filled with shock. He had never expected Zhou Yun's physical body to be so powerful. He was able to catch his slash with his bare hands. Although he was just testing the waters and didn't go all out. But what about the other party? Clearly, it wasn't a full-scale effort. Zhou Yun remained calm and composed, as if everything was under control. This man from the Golden Thunder clan had previously given me a great sense of oppression from above the dark clouds. However, after landing, he found that this guy was nothing special. That oppressive force was largely due to the celestial phenomena here. This guy is completely taking advantage of others. Although his actual strength is not weak, it is still inferior to Zhou Yun's. Demons possess powerful physiques and unparalleled physical strength, making them difficult for most to defeat. Although Zhou Yun's Azure Heaven demon body is not a true demon, it was born from the essence and blood of an incomparably powerful fallen demon, and then purified and strengthened by the system. His physical strength is even comparable to that of a true demon prince. A small group of Golden Thunder clan members, a branch of the God clan, were no match for him. You can die now. Zhou Yun's face was cold and indifferent as he lightly pronounced a death sentence on the person before him. He took a step forward, a purple light flashing in his eyes, and he pushed the power of his heavenly demon body's bloodline to its limit. Facing this enemy of the Golden Thunder clan, Zhou Yun did not use the dragon pattern black gold spear, nor did he activate any other martial arts techniques. He fought bare-handed, each blow landing squarely on his skin. Using only the power of the Azure Heaven demon body. His goal was simple, to let that man in blue witness the strength of his bloodline power. Zhou Yun's potential is no less than that of the Mr. he mentioned. Bang! The fist imprint was as large as a mountain. Zhou Yun threw a punch that created a sonic boom, directly shattering the lightning sword in the man's hand. The immense force pierced through the sword and struck the man's chest. In an instant, it knocked him back dozens of meters. With a soft plop, the man's face turned pale instantly, and he spat out a mouthful of bright red blood, which even contained some fragments of internal organs. Humans! How dare you harm me? Face the thunder! Zhou Yun's punch not only injured him, but also shattered the pride he held in his heart as a member of the Golden Thunder clan. In his view, the Golden Thunder clan was not among the strongest clans in the heavens. However, they rank highly and are outstanding in the second tier. It is absolutely incomparable to weak humans. The person before him shattered his magical artifact with his bare hands and even severely injured him with a single punch. It was tantamount to crushing all his pride under the soles of his shoes. Golden lightning annihilates the world. He roared, and two faint golden lights flashed in his eyes. The next second, countless golden bolts of lightning appeared densely around him, the vastness of the lightning making him seem like an unparalleled thunder god descended to earth. Those who disrespect God shall die. He gently clenched his right hand in the void, and lightning flashed out, intertwining to form a golden lightning blade. He took a step forward, his lightning blade flashing, slashing towards Zhou Yun. Your Golden Thunder clan is merely a branch of the Thunder God clan. What right do you have to call yourself a god? Zhou Yun snorted coldly. If we consider this, the body flowing within him is the Azure Heaven demon body, formed from the essence and blood of a fallen demon, making him a true and pure demon bloodline. They are many times more noble than his so-called Golden Thunder clan. The demon roars across the 9 heavens. Zhou Yun roared and also used the power of his bloodline to fight back. As a being with a heavenly demon body, he naturally inherited the innate secret techniques of the demon race deep within his bloodline. He focused his energy in his dantian, and stellar energy flowed out, activating the power of his bloodline. The next second, mysterious purple demonic patterns appeared on his face, and surging demonic energy made him look like a demon god descended to earth, majestic and terrifying. Roar! He opened his mouth wide and let out a roar. The demonic sound pierced his ears, and the terrifying demonic energy transformed into tangible sound waves, surging towards the person. The sound wave swept past, instantly crushing the heavenly blade thunder blade in his hand. And even after shattering his lightning blade, the power of this demonic sound did not diminish in the slightest, and it continued forward. It landed on him. In an instant, his physical body exploded under the roar of that demonic sound. Chapter 66, Secret Technique, Dragon Tail Swing. Oh. Rubbish. That's it? Zhou Yun scoffed, his tone full of sarcasm. The Golden Thunder Clan is indeed quite powerful compared to ordinary human warriors. Zhou Yun could sense that the person was indeed a 10-star Chi martial artist, but his combat strength was comparable to that of an ordinary 3-star spirit martial artist. But for him, it was just that. Even geniuses from many major religious sects could easily crush this young man from the Jinlei clan and kill him. Give me a stronger opponent. Upon seeing the man in blue appear, Zhou Yun spoke to him. He genuinely wanted an opponent of equal strength to have a thoroughly enjoyable battle and test the limits of his combat power. Don't worry, I'll fight you in the next match. The azure-clad Dragon King smiled slightly and said to Zhou Yun. The third and final match. Defeat me, who is at the same level, and you will obtain the Dragon Transformation secret technique bestowed upon you by the Master. As he spoke, he raised one hand. The next second, a beam of azure light suddenly appeared and shot into Zhou Yun's brow. The reward for winning the second game. The Fish Dragon King said calmly. Zhou Yun focused his mind and used his divine sense to comprehend the azure divine light. Within his sea of consciousness, this divine light transformed into a lifelike 5-clawed dragon. As the dragon swayed, each movement seemed to shimmer with ancient runes, which conveyed a most primordial truth. Dragon's Tail Swing. Zhou Yun's aptitude and comprehension, enhanced by the glazed tree heart and the heavenly demon's essence blood, manifested at this moment. In a short time, he comprehended the powerful martial skill hidden within these runes, as well as the true meaning of talent contained within them. This secret technique, though named Dragon Tail Swing, literally means attacking by swinging a dragon's tail. Although Zhou Yun awakened the heavenly demon body, he was still essentially a human and did not have a tail. Therefore, if understood in this way, this martial arts technique is completely useless to him. However, that's not actually the case. The Dragon Tail Swing, performed by the dragon race, is indeed an attack using the dragon's tail. However, once this martial art evolved into its original form using runes, it was no longer bound by the shape of a dragon's tail. The dragon's tail merges into the formless force, transforming into the form of the most primordial law. When engaging in combat, it can be used as a fist, a kick, or even integrated into a magical weapon to attack enemies by sweeping a spear, which can also unleash the power of the Dragon Tail Swing. What a powerful secret technique! Zhou Yun opened his eyes, his pupils flashing with brilliant light, and said with a sigh. It can be said that, for him at present, this Dragon Tail Sweep is definitely the most powerful martial art he has mastered. He subconsciously swung his right arm, and star energy surged, with tiny runes attaching to his arm. Then, he gently flicked it forward. The next second, a foot-long azure dragon suddenly appeared, shaking its head and tail, and charged forward. Snap! The dragon's tail swung, striking the air with a crisp sound. This strike was quite powerful. If it landed on a martial artist of the same level, unless that martial artist possessed a high-grade defensive magical artifact, this strike could easily injure them severely. Upon seeing this, the Fish Dragon King opposite him was slightly surprised, and inwardly praised him. Good lad. This person has such high comprehension. Although I am still not qualified to compare with you, sir. However, compared to me, they are definitely much stronger. He remembered clearly that back in the immortal spirit pool, the master enlightened him and gave him intelligence, and then casually imprinted the inheritance mark of the dragon transformation secret technique into his body. It took him a full hour to comprehend the dragon tail swing technique within the secret art. And what about this kid? It must have been at most 15 minutes, right? He had already completely mastered this secret technique. Although the attack that Zhou Yun just unleashed looked rather immature and unskilled, the divine dragon power within that azure dragon was by no means diminished. With more practice in the future, I will surely be able to break down and refine this martial art, and comprehend it as my own powerful technique. Bring it on! I'm ready! Zhou Yun spoke impatiently to the Fish Dragon King, his face filled with eager anticipation. The azure-clad Dragon King nodded slightly. Good. Let's fight. A flash of azure light appeared on his body as dragon scale armor adhered to him, instantly revealing an aura of extraordinary heroism. I will suppress my strength to the level of a 10-star Chi martial artist. Are you ready? The next second, the Fish Dragon King reached out and grabbed at Zhou Yun's brow. His speed wasn't fast, but he brought Zhou Yun an extremely strong sense of pressure. Its power was far greater than that of the previous Golden Thunder clan. Skyclaw? Zhou Yun frowned, recognizing a familiar shadow in that strike. It was the martial arts reward he received after defeating the Tiger Demon in the first trial. This sky-splitting claw is extremely fast, fierce, and sharp, and like the dragon's tail swing, it is one of the secret techniques of the Dragon Clan. Now that the Fish Dragon King has unleashed this power, it has put immense pressure on Zhou Yun. He activated the power of his heavenly demon body's bloodline, swinging his left fist to deflect the incoming sky-splitting claw. At the same time, his right hand opened, also transforming into the shape of a dragon claw. Zhou Yun followed suit, using the technique of the sky-splitting claw to tear at the opponent's arm. There is no better time for this trial. A sharp glint flashed in his eyes as he meticulously imprinted every single detail of the other person into his mind. Bang bang bang. The two were extremely fast, exchanging several blows in quick succession. Zhou Yun was knocked back dozens of meters. Deep, eerie bloodstains appeared on his arms. All of them were wounds left after being hit by the opponent's skyclaw. If it weren't for the heavenly demon body's formidable physique, and the fact that he had refined a considerable amount of earth-fire spirit liquid to enhance the quality of his body. If an ordinary person were here, and had taken several blows from the opponent's sky-splitting claws, their arms would probably have been broken, and their flesh and bones would have been torn apart, resulting in a miserable and serious injury. However, the benefits of taking the hit head-on are also enormous. His understanding of the skyclaw is also getting better and better. Even with his final strike, the sky-splitting claw he unleashed shattered several of the opponent's crystal and dragon scales. Ha ha ha. Good. Good. The Fish Dragon King looked at the few dragon scales that had been broken off from his chest by Zhou Yun's sky-splitting claw, laughed twice, and revealed a satisfied expression. Next, let me see this attack. Can you catch it? Chapter 67, Slaying the Dragon. The next second, dazzling divine light emanated from the Fish Dragon King's body. Immediately afterwards, his body suddenly changed, shedding his human form and transforming into a dragon. In an instant, a 5-clawed dragon more than 10 meters long appeared in this space. The fine scales shimmered with an eerie light, exuding a chilling killing intent. Whoosh! A thick, powerful dragon tail swung up, becoming as tall as a pillar supporting the sky, and crashed down towards Zhou Yun's head. Wow! No martial ethics whatsoever. Zhou Yun's expression changed abruptly, and he quickly flew backward to try and dodge. The Fish Dragon King's tail was only 5 or 6 meters long, but when he used the innate secret technique of the divine dragon tail swing, the dragon's tail was so enormous that even Zhou Yun felt a sense of helplessness and fear. Bang! Zhou Yun was sent flying by the dragon's tail and crashed heavily to the ground. He felt as if his internal organs had shifted, and he was in excruciating pain all over his body. Holy crap! Does it hurt that much? He struggled to his feet, gasping for breath with gritted teeth, before finally feeling a little better. He also knew the dragon tail swing technique, and he knew it was a powerful martial art, but he never expected it to be so powerful. Instantly, he felt a surge of excitement. Such powerful martial arts skills, I can do them too. Immediately, he stood up and began to circulate his star energy. Within his dantian, purple light burst forth, and driven by the power of his bloodline, a dragon pattern instantly appeared, flying out along his meridians and wrapping around his legs. At this moment, the shape of his legs changed. Like two thick dragon tails, it swayed gently, carrying an extremely strong oppressive force. Dragon's tail swing. Go! Zhou Yun leaped into the air, twisted his waist and swung his leg, delivering a sweeping kick. A series of purple-gold divine lights flashed on the shadowy legs, baring their fangs and brandishing their claws, like a terrifying divine dragon. Bang! Bang! 2 consecutive whip kicks slammed into the Fish Dragon King's body. His body trembled slightly, and he took a small step back. A hint of surprise appeared in the eyes of the azure-clad Dragon King. This kid's got something. Not only is his comprehension exceptional, but his on-the-spot reaction speed is also outstanding. The 2 whip kicks landed on him, and he felt them very clearly. Zhou Yun's dragon tail sweep already showed some of his spirit. Although it was not much, just a tiny bit. But how long has he been learning? And this is his first time using it, so his understanding is already quite good. The Fish Dragon King's gaze toward Zhou Yun held an increasingly strong sense of admiration. Since I, Xiaolong, am destined to perish and will not live to see the day my master returns, perhaps we should let this person inherit all my legacy and await the master's summons. At this point, the Fish Dragon King had already decided to teach Zhou Yun all that he had learned. However, despite this, he showed no sign of it on his face. Is that all the strength you have? Didn't you eat? The Fish Dragon King snorted coldly and unleashed another powerful dragon tail strike. Boom! A colossal dragon tail, obscuring the sky, suddenly appeared and descended from the heavens, crashing down upon Zhou Yun. Crescent slash. Swish, swish, swish. Zhou Yun raised his hand and unleashed 3 consecutive crescent-shaped blades. He had already tried before, and with his abilities, he couldn't avoid the Dragon King's divine dragon tail swing at all. This time, he chose to confront it head-on, soaring into the sky and unleashing 3 crescent-shaped slashes that struck the same spot. Put! The first crescent slash unleashed a dazzling silver light, instantly shattering dozens of the opponent's dragon scales. Immediately afterwards, the second crescent slash slammed into the opponent's dragon tail. Instantly, a handful of scorching dragon blood spurted out, splashing onto the ground with several hissing sounds. It was as terrifying as scorching hot magma. This kid has such tricks up his sleeve? The Fish Dragon King was startled. They never expected Zhou Yun to possess such a fierce and terrifying technique as the crescent slash. The next second, the third strike, a crescent moon slash, crashed down. The attack struck precisely into the wounds created by the first 2 crescent-shaped slashes. A flash of silver light appeared, followed by a sudden, crimson line of blood. The next moment, a soft poof sound was heard. The enormous, sky-covering dragon tail snapped off instantly. Zhou Yun broke through the Dragon King's divine dragon tail sweep attack. Bang! The enormous dragon tail crashed down, slamming into the earth. The ground beneath its feet trembled violently, as if the earth dragon were turning over and the mountains were collapsing. Although the man in blue was a carp that had transformed into a dragon, he was indeed a dragon at this moment, and his physical strength was naturally incomparably powerful. That really surprised me. The Fish Dragon King snorted softly, and the next second, a flash of mysterious light appeared, and the dragon tail that Zhou Yun had severed actually grew back. Zhou Yun was stunned. You cheated. We were supposed to have a battle between equals, how can a 10-star Chi martial artist recover so quickly? Zhou Yun questioned. However, what responded to him was a terrifyingly powerful dragon tail sweep. You know nothing about the power of dragons. Bang! Before Zhou Yun could even react, he was blasted into the dust by the opponent's attack. His body was firmly embedded in the rock layer below, like a headless scallion, looking quite pathetic. The dragon race is one of the strongest races in the heavens. It is on par with the most primitive gods and demons. Even if your heavenly demon body is born from the bloodline of the demon race, it is still no match for true dragons and demons. If this is all you've got, then let's stop here. The dragon transformation's secret technique, you can't take it away. The Fish Dragon King's voice was icy and stern, as if he were pronouncing Zhou Yun's defeat. In reality, what the Fish Dragon King thought was exactly the opposite of what he said. Zhou Yun is absolutely worthy of inheriting the dragon transformation secret technique. However, he still wanted to see if Zhou Yun had any other surprising methods. Beneath the rock layer, Zhou Yun remained expressionless, revealing nothing of his thoughts. Let's see how many times your dragon tail can break off. He snorted coldly. If I could cut you off once, I can cut you off a second time. If I cut you down fast enough, you absolutely won't be able to grow back. The next second, a silver glow appeared between his brows. A full moon suddenly appeared. The stellar energy and bloodline power within him were being consumed and burned wildly. Whoosh! An extremely dense silver light spread outwards from him. The light was dazzling, and wherever it touched the silver light, it melted away like frost and snow. The moonlight condenses in the night. Zhou Yun gave a low shout. This secret technique has been pushed to its limit. After advancing to the 10th star Qi warrior, the power of his bloodline can at most unleash 2 Qinghui Yining attacks. This was also the first time he had used the clear radiance night condensation technique. The ground trembled slightly. A silvery full moon suddenly rose. This is? Above the rock layer, the Fish Dragon King, who was suppressing the 4 directions with his dragon tail, suddenly looked startled. Chapter 68, The Dragon Transformation Secret Technique Acquired. The moonlight is clear and still in the night. The radiant light fell suddenly like rain. At first, the shimmering silver light was not bright, but as time went on, its brightness increased rapidly. Everything touched by Qinghui Yining melted away silently and rapidly, like molten iron poured into snow. The hard rocky ground, the shimmering, cold-looking dragon scales, and the enormous dragon tail that resembles a pillar supporting the sky. Everything that comes into contact with the radiance of Qinghui Yining melts and disappears without exception. The fish dragon king felt a chill run down his spine. With his keen eyesight, he could naturally tell that Zhou Yun's move was of the same origin as the crescent slash he had used before. However, he never expected this move to be so terrifyingly powerful. Base. Zhou Yun burst forth from the ground like a sword drawn from its sheath, his body shimmering with a faint silver light, as heroic as a war god under the moon. Senior. How was my move? He smiled slightly, his face full of confidence. The power of Qinghui Yining is not only reflected in its destructive force. Its durability is also exceptional. A hazy glow still clung to the fish dragon king's body, like a thin curtain of emerald water. It was filled with a very special power that prevented him from circulating his power and restoring his damaged body. The fish dragon king remained silent. A pair of dark golden pupils, the size of lanterns, stared at Zhou Yun for a long while before letting out a soft sigh. Immediately, he relinquished his dragon form and transformed back into human form. The Yangtze River's waves push the previous waves forward, while the previous waves perish on the beach. It has to be said that Zhou Yun's strength far exceeded his expectations. When I was at the 10-star Chi warrior level, I definitely didn't have the strength to match his. You win. After transforming back into human form, his figure seemed somewhat more ethereal than before. Perhaps the start of the trial had depleted some of his spiritual power, making him even weaker. This is the complete dragon transformation secret technique. I already know your strength. With this secret technique in your hands, its reputation will not be tarnished. A cyan dragon's shadow shot out from between his eyebrows and instantly rushed into Zhou Yun's sight. The next moment, Zhou Yun felt everything go black before his eyes, and his consciousness fell into chaos. The surroundings were hazy, and he felt as if he were lying in a clear, viscous liquid. He moved his fists and feet slightly and found that there were thick and hard barriers blocking him from all sides. It was as if he was locked in a special container. This. Zhou Yun frowned slightly. Wasn't I receiving a reward from the fish dragon king? How did I get here? Could it be that this is a necessary process for awakening the dragon transformation technique? He tried hard to open his eyes and use his divine sense to scan his surroundings. But no matter how he tried, it was to no avail, as if his divine sense was blocked and his vision was shielded. Fortunately, the mysterious liquids around him contained a great deal of pure starlight energy. Even though he was confined to this space and his vision and divine sense were blocked, he was not idle. He was able to hold his breath and concentrate, enter a state of cultivation, and absorb the star energy in the liquid. After an unknown amount of time, Zhou Yun suddenly felt as if a ray of light had appeared before his eyes. He quickly opened his eyes and found that his vision had been restored, and the surrounding haze and darkness had also disappeared. The special container that had been tightly sealing him also cracked open with a narrow opening. Moreover, as time goes by, this gap is gradually getting bigger. Instantly, Zhou Yun felt a surge of joy. He had entered similar illusions before. When you acquire secret techniques and martial arts skills such as crescent slash, clear moon night condensation, rising moon over the sea, and thunderfire spear technique, the system will create a dreamlike space for inheritance, allowing him to witness and personally experience the effects and power of these martial arts and secret techniques. But the Dragon King's dragon transformation technique seems to be somewhat different. He was kept confined to a small space and never truly entered a state of inheritance. The cracks and fissures ahead grew larger, and the light in their field of vision became brighter and brighter. Now, the turning point has finally arrived, and we are about to truly inherit this legacy. A few minutes later, a crisp cracking sound suddenly rang out. Zhou Yun saw that the cage that had been confining him had completely shattered, and the clear sky and white clouds outside appeared in his field of vision. However, what attracted his attention the most was not the clear sky and the drifting white clouds. Instead, right before my eyes was a huge, pale golden pupil. Dragon eyes. Zhou Yun's heart skipped a beat. He was deeply impressed by those eyes. Previously, after the fish dragon king transformed into a dragon, his eyes looked like this. He looked down from above, exuding an air of indifference towards all living beings. Zhou Yun couldn't help but open her mouth and scream. However, an even more terrifying scene unfolded. The voice was clearly coming from his mouth, but the tone was completely unfamiliar. It possesses a youthful innocence mixed with a vast and domineering aura. That sounds like a dragon's roar? I've transformed into a dragon? Am I a dragon now? He quickly looked down. The human body that had been with him for decades vanished, replaced by a body of smooth, jade-like dragon scales, agile and nimble dragon claws, and a thick, incredibly nimble dragon tail. He was stunned for a moment, then a sudden realization dawned on him. Right. The dragon transformation's secret technique. Transform into a dragon. Transform into a dragon. How can one truly understand the meaning of transformation without experiencing the process of becoming a dragon? Zhou Yun muttered to himself. The ignorance in my heart was swept away. The dark space he had been in earlier was not a cage, but his eggshell. The liquid he absorbed from the eggshell did not provide him with star power. Instead, they are the inherited runes of the dragon transformation secret technique. At that moment, it seemed as if dragon-shaped marks were bearing their fangs and claws, flying wildly before his eyes. Sky-cracking claw. Dragon flames. Dragon's tail swing. The holy dragon descends from heaven. A variety of different innate secret techniques appeared in his mind, manifesting in the most primitive runes. Furthermore, after transforming into a dragon, he gained a clearer and more comprehensive understanding of these secret runes. Take the dragon tail swing for example. Now that he has a dragon tail, he can feel the power within it more specifically. After returning, the power of this move will definitely increase several times. The dragon transformation technique is truly profound and mysterious. Zhou Yun sighed, but truly mastering the dragon transformation technique perfectly is not something that can be achieved overnight. He only obtained the inherited method to fully utilize it and convert it into his own combat power. He still needs to practice and use it many times. After all, unlike the crescent slash and clear night glow that he had obtained through system enhancement in the past, these techniques directly became his bloodline secrets, which could be transformed into instincts and used by his arms. After he became aware of his own condition and truly understood the essence of the dragon transformation technique, the world before my eyes suddenly and without warning transformed into a bizarre and fantastical bubble, vanishing without a trace. He actually withdrew directly from the trial space of the Panlong Pillar. Chapter 69, Gains for All Parties, Unexpected Changes on the Secret Island. Brother Yun, you're out? After spending so much time, you must have gotten a lot of good stuff. Upon seeing Zhou Yun suddenly appear, Feng Huihong, standing beside him, greeted him excitedly. After Zhou Yun entered the Panlong Pillar space, the Fish Dragon King informed him and Wu Luan that they could also enter the trial space to engage in combat challenges. You can get a reward as long as you can defeat your opponent. The two were naturally overjoyed and went inside. However, their combat strength was far inferior to Zhou Yun's, so it was impossible for them to break through 3 levels in a row like Zhou Yun and obtain the dragon transformation secret technique personally bestowed by the Fish Dragon King. Feng Huihong is quite powerful, possessing a red-grade cultivation technique as his foundation. In addition, he has consumed a large amount of rare and precious herbs in recent days, including an extremely valuable 6th-grade silver moonfruit. Furthermore, under Zhou Yun's guidance, he has also mastered the 8 Extremes Collapse martial art to a minor level. When he throws a punch, it contains 5 layers of hidden force, making it extremely powerful. In the secret realm of the Panlong Pillar, he encountered a triangular rhinoceros of the same level as him. Using a strategy of trading blows for blows, they managed to kill their opponent after some effort. He obtained a powerful, life-or-death technique called Dragon Battle in the Wild from the Fish Dragon King. Using this martial art, one can unleash terrifying power that is 3 to 5 times greater than one's own combat strength in a short period of time. However, martial arts techniques like these always come at a price. The Dragon Battle in the Wilds is quite powerful. After each use, one must lie in bed for at least 10 days to half a month to slowly recover the depleted blood and energy. If the consumed blood and energy are not fully replenished, forcibly using this martial art again will at best deplete potential, making it difficult to make any further progress in cultivation. At worst, it may result in severe injury and death, or even the body exploding on the spot. In the second stage, he encountered a powerful opponent from the Yaksha tribe. In a battle between equals, he was instantly killed by his opponent in one move. The Yaksha race is not a particularly powerful alien race among all the heavens. However, against someone like Feng Huihong, a low-level martial artist with average talent, no special physique, and lacking powerful martial arts skills, it would be an absolute crushing opponent. On the other side, Wu Luan's battle was similar to Feng Huihong's. Although the cultivation technique she practiced was of average grade, she had mastered the martial skill of gale force to its extreme, reaching perfection. With her sharp, powerful gusts of wind and her fierce, ruthless personality, she successfully passed the first hurdle. And that was the end of it. Upon entering the second level, facing a colossal black python that seemed to devour the heavens. She didn't even have time to react or counterattack before it swallowed her whole. Finally, I obtained the battle reward for the first level from the Panlong Pillar. A martial arts manual called Black Dragon Claw. This martial art is remarkably similar to the sky-splitting claw that Zhou Yun acquired. All of these are due to the dragons relying on their own laws to drive and utilize the power of their claws. However, the Black Dragon Claw technique requires a deep understanding of the wind element to unleash its full power. This martial art, now in Wu Wan's hands, is like adding wings to a tiger. Of course, whether it's Feng Huihong's dragon fighting in the wild or Wu Wan's black dragon probing claws. These martial arts techniques are all recorded in the complete dragon transformation secret technique. I've gained something, more or less. Wu Wan's lips curled up slightly, revealing a sweet smile. Let's go. The greatest opportunity in this dragon palace lies in the dragon martial arts secrets recorded on the dragon pillars. Now that we've already ventured inside once, there's no need for us to stay in the dragon palace any longer. It's time to leave. The dragon palace has a considerable area, but the valuable parts have all been consumed and used by the azure-clad Dragon King. The coiled dragon pillar may be the only remaining rare treasure. Even in the state of a wisp of a remnant soul, activating the Panlong pillar greatly consumed the azure-clad fish Dragon King. Otherwise, he wouldn't have disappeared after ending his challenge, passing on his secret technique to Zhou Yun. He thought for a moment, then decided to bow in respect. He clasped his hands in a gesture of respect befitting a junior, and solemnly addressed the gleaming dragon pillar before him. Today, I have received the complete secret technique from my senior. The gratitude I owe him is as heavy as a mountain. Zhou Yunding secretly cultivated his skills, never losing the prestige of the dragon transformation secret technique. Furthermore, I will do my best to cultivate and improve my cultivation, search for the art of resurrection, replenish your remnant soul, and help you be resurrected and live another life. Zhou Yun spoke firmly, his expression serious. He is an extremely sentimental person who will repay kindness and avenge wrongs. I will do my best to fulfill and complete any promises I make. The dragon pillar flickered slightly with a faint light. Clearly, this was the remnant soul of the azure-clad fish Dragon King, recuperating within his body, responding to Zhou Yun. After taking one last look at the coiled dragon pillar in front of him, Zhou Yun decisively stood up and walked outside. Feng Huihong and Wu Wan, following Zhou Yun's example, bowed deeply to the dragon pillar before quickly leaving to catch up with Zhou Yun. The Dragon Palace is located within the corpse of the Fish Dragon King, forming its own world, which it created at the height of its power. If an ordinary person accidentally enters this place, it will not be easy for them to leave. They will need to traverse a series of perilous spatial locations. However, Zhou Yun and others were not included in this group. They easily left the Dragon Palace and returned to the bottom of the river by following the same path they had come from. As soon as he came out, Zhou Yun frowned and sensed an unusual aura. Previously, before they entered the Dragon Palace, this river looked very ordinary from the outside, and even the fish were extremely rare. But now, it's like a complete upheaval has occurred. A large group of sea beasts crowded into Zhou Yun's field of vision ahead, and at a rough glance, there were at least several thousand of them. Among them, half of the fish had reached the level of first-tier demon beasts. Although these numerous marine creatures are not of high rank, their combined attack on the same target demonstrates their formidable fighting power. Furthermore, under Zhou Yun's divine sense, besides the marine beasts constantly swimming around, there were actually 7 or 8 humans on the side of the Fish Dragon King's corpse. They split into 3 teams, meticulously examining every detail of the Fish Dragon King's corpse. They all want to gain something from it. Why are there so many people at the bottom of the river? Zhou Yun was completely baffled. Just then, a cold, sharp voice entered Zhou Yun's mind. Who is it? Among those people, some possessed considerable spiritual power. At the same time as Zhou Yun discovered them, they were able to simultaneously extend their sharp divine senses and lock onto Zhou Yun. Chapter 70, Deterrence. Instantly, a chilling killing intent enveloped Zhou Yun and his 2 companions. Both Feng Huihong and Wu Wan turned pale and swayed slightly. The 2 of them had made considerable gains in the Dragon Palace and were feeling quite pleased with themselves. I never expected to encounter such a powerful enemy so soon after leaving the Dragon Palace small world. The 3 small teams in the distance, 7 people in total. Even the weakest among them possessed the cultivation of a 3-star spirit warrior, far surpassing the 2 of them. As for Zhou Yun, he was completely unconcerned about the oppressive aura and murderous intent. His physical strength was formidable, and his power was unparalleled. The killing intent that made Feng Huihong and the other man feel a chill was no different from a gentle breeze when it fell on him. He took a step forward. A ripple of water surged forth, rolling forward and crushing towards the person who had just released killing intent and pressure in the distance. With the blessing and amplification of the 3 silver moonfruits, Zhou Yun's divine sense was incomparably pure and dazzling, comparable in quality to that of a 10-star spiritual warrior. Just now, he retaliated in kind, unleashing his divine power to shake the water and attack forward. In the distance, the others only sensed an invisible killing intent approaching, but could not perceive the opponent's strength. However, the gray-haired man who had previously exerted pressure on Zhou Yun and the other two was different. In an instant, he was struck as if by lightning, his body trembling violently, his face deathly pale, and mouthfuls of blood gushing from the corners of his mouth. "Old Lu? What's wrong with you, Lao Lu?" The gray-haired middle-aged man's teammates noticed his unusual behavior immediately. He immediately exclaimed in surprise, grabbed his arm tightly, and sent a divine thought into old Lu's body to investigate the cause of his injury. The moment his divine sense entered Lao Lu's body, he was stunned. The reason is simple: Lao Lu's injuries were too severe. The meridians in his body broke off inch by inch, as if he had been crushed from the inside out by a mountain. Of the thousands of meridians in his body, not a single one was intact. His heart meridian ruptured, his dantian shattered, and his cultivation was completely wiped out. Beneath this deep, dark riverbed, danger lurks everywhere, and with his cultivation completely destroyed, there can only be one outcome: die. He didn't even need the enemy to make a move, nor did he need the monsters in the river to attack him. Once the energy shield protecting his body is depleted, he will be instantly crushed and torn to pieces by the surrounding water pressure. Sure enough, the next second, the star energy shield on the body of the man called Lao Lu was tempered inch by inch, just like glass. The next second, a soft poof sound. The over 1.8 meter tall body was instantly crushed into a bloody mess by the immense water pressure and swept away into the distance by the surging undercurrent at the bottom of the river. Hiss. At that moment, the others also noticed the anomaly. For a moment, everyone gasped in shock, their faces showing astonishment. The 7 of them formed their own teams and had a general understanding of each other's abilities. Old Lu's cultivation level of a 6-star spirit warrior ranked second among the 7. However, even so, in the hands of that young man, they were not even a match for him. A single strike of his divine sense was enough to kill them. Instantly, the group was stunned, utterly shocked, and incredibly tense. "Senior, you." Some people cautiously lowered their heads, wanting to strike up a conversation with Zhou Yun, inquire about his purpose, and try to avoid conflict with him. Although Zhou Yun doesn't look very old, his cultivation level shouldn't be too outrageous. However, having learned from past mistakes, no one dared to provoke Zhou Yun. After all, age is never the key factor in the cultivation world. Only strengthened fists can earn the fear and respect of others. I asked. "You answer." A faint golden light flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes, and instantly, an invisible pressure swept out, covering an area of 100 meters. Instantly, the remaining 6 people present were all on edge, their bodies trembling, as if they were being watched by a prehistoric beast, their foreheads covered with fine beads of sweat. It's Dragon's Might. The Dragon Transformation secret technique contains a detailed inheritance of the Dragon's Might. When Zhou Yun used it for the first time, the effect was indeed good. Even the hunchbacked old man, a 7-star spiritual warrior among the 6 people in front, dared not resist in the slightest and lowered his head in fear, indicating his submission. What's going on with these strange sea creatures around us? He hadn't seen so many strange beasts before entering the Dragon Palace space. Moreover, he has been in the secret island for quite some time and has explored many rivers and lakes. Although we did encounter a few powerful beasts in the lakes on the island, their numbers were extremely small. Now, in this river basin, there are no fewer than several thousand different strange beasts. Moreover, this was not the final number. Zhou Yun could clearly see that, as he spoke, many different kinds of strange beasts, large and small, were riding the underwater currents and swarming in from all directions. This is absolutely not normal. This. Among the crowd, the strongest, a hunched old man who had reached the level of a 7-star spiritual warrior, frowned slightly and hesitated to speak. However, he glanced back at his teammates behind him, as well as the people from the other squads next to him. He suddenly realized that even if he didn't say it, these people would reveal the secret. And that matter is no longer a secret by now. Once you leave this river area, a little investigation will reveal the whole story. Hiding it here will bring him no benefit. On the contrary, it will only alienate this powerful young man before him. Immediately, he spoke frankly and answered Zhou Yun's question. More than 10 hours ago, an anomaly occurred on the secret island, with 3 incomparably dazzling golden lights shooting straight into the sky. Such unusual activity attracted the attention of all the martial artists on the island. Of these 3 golden lights, 2 are located in the deepest part of the secret island, a place that even heavenly warriors would find dangerous. The last golden light phenomenon originated from this river. This place is far from the depths of the secret realm, so theoretically we shouldn't encounter too many strong competitors. Besides, we're relatively close by, which is why we were able to get here so quickly. Zhou Yun frowned slightly. 3 golden lights appeared? This was something that had never happened before he entered the Dragon Palace. Could it be a special anomaly caused by the sudden awakening of the azure-clad Dragon King? Wrong? According to you, that golden light phenomenon was so magnificent that it almost shook the entire secret realm. So much time has passed, there must have been quite a few martial artists who came here. It's impossible that there were only 7 of you. Furthermore, you haven't told me why so many underwater monsters are gathered here? Zhou Yun snorted coldly, sensing that the old man hadn't revealed all the information and was still hiding something. Chapter 71, The Truth Behind the Secret Realm? The hunched old man sighed. I have only said part of it. That golden light phenomenon not only attracted the attention of the martial artists in the secret realm, but also other creatures. These underwater beasts are the best evidence of that. He sighed, a hint of fear flashing in his eyes, and this time he made no attempt to hide anything. Previously, I explored this secret realm and found the cave dwelling of a senior who had passed away. According to the notes left inside, this secret realm is extraordinary. It is not just an island, but actually a complete world. Beyond this island, there are oceans, continents, and even the sun, moon, and stars. The dazzling golden light can not only attract the attention of us martial artists who have rashly entered the secret realm, but the natives of the secret realm should also be able to see it. These sea creatures come from the ocean outside the island. Instantly, Zhou Yun's expression changed. This secret realm, is it a complete world? This is absolutely outrageous. If that's the case, then after the golden light phenomenon appears, powerful individuals of all levels could appear on the island. Even an insignificant nobody might be a hidden heavenly martial realm expert. Therefore, we must be even more careful, otherwise we might lose our lives if we are not careful. In addition, there may be another reason why these marine creatures are gathering here in such large numbers. The hunchbacked old man continued. Zhou Yun looked up, waiting for the next part to continue. Senior. Look here. The hunched old man subtly shifted his position, pointing to the corpse of the fish dragon king behind him. Zhou Yun? What are you showing me? I just came out of here. Senior. Look at this giant corpse. It's a dragon. His eyes gleamed with fervent excitement. Dragons are undoubtedly one of the most powerful races in the heavens. To be able to see such a creature with one's own eyes, even if it is just a scale or a claw, or even just a broken corpse, is definitely worth the trip. Of course I know it's a dragon. Zhou Yun crossed his arms and said calmly. He wanted to hear what the old man was trying to say. But if you look closely, this dragon is not a real dragon. This dragon evolved from a carp. When he spoke, he lowered his voice considerably, as if he were recounting a shocking secret. Zhou Yun, damn it, you're insane. I already knew all of this. Zhou Yunxiang suppressed his nameless rage and resisted the urge to slap the man to the ground. So what? What does this have to do with the sea creatures around here? It's very important. The hunched old man had a look of utter disappointment on his face, and he looked at Zhou Yun as if he were mentally challenged. Since there is a carp that transformed into a dragon here, it must possess a terrifying inheritance that allows mortal sea beasts to evolve into dragons. This is also the ultimate purpose for these sea beasts to gather here. As long as they can obtain this inheritance, even if they don't get the whole thing, or even just a small piece of it, it will be enough for them to soar to the sky. In an instant, Zhou Yun realized. Then, I muttered to myself, what a waste of time. Of course he knew about the inheritance that the fish dragon king possessed that could allow ordinary sea beasts to evolve. That was the dragon transformation secret technique. Zhou Yun could only silently apologize to these sea creatures. No matter how many sea creatures gather here, or how strong they are all destined to leave empty-handed. Because he has already obtained the dragon transformation secret technique. Boring. Zhou Yun shook his head and gave this assessment. He turned around immediately, intending to take Feng Huihong and Wu Luan away from this area of water. Senior. Aren't you interested in that secret technique that can transform you into a dragon? The hunched old man addressed everyone as senior without any hint of embarrassment. For martial artists, age is never the most important factor, only strength matters. Zhou Yun did not answer, but instead stepped on the water and surged into the sky. Seeing Zhou Yun about to leave, the hunched old man shook his head and sighed softly. It's easy to get in, but hard to get out. This sea monster isn't stupid. Zhou Yun was unaware of his thoughts. He had already taken away the secret techniques passed down in this place, and the treasures in other parts of the Dragon Palace had also been consumed and used up by the azure-clad fish Dragon King. Staying here will not yield any further gains. He moved very fast, his body swaying slightly with the direction of the water flow, like a nimble fish. This is a movement technique from the Dragon Transformation secret art, which he executed naturally, appearing fluid and extremely swift. Just as he was immersed in this state of enlightenment, suddenly, 3 incredibly sharp water arrows appeared in front of him, moving at extremely high speed. The water arrow seemed invisible in the river, and by the time Zhou Yun noticed it, it was already within reach. Base. 3 sharp water jets flew past his hair, almost hitting him. Instantly, a surge of anger rose in his heart. No one would be happy to be ambushed and nearly seriously injured by someone who has offended or harmed them. Who? Zhou Yun gave a cold shout and looked in the direction from which the water arrow had come. In the distance, the water rippled slightly, revealing a thin, ugly water monkey. In its hand was a bright blue longbow. The bow looked hastily made and not very refined, but its quality was extraordinary. It shimmered with a dazzling light, exceeding the category of a first-tier spiritual weapon. It was very likely a precious second-tier spiritual weapon. Instantly, Zhou Yun felt a surge of heat in his heart, and his anger subsided considerably. Oh! It turned out to be a kind person who came to deliver a baby. That's all. Huffing and puffing, repulsing each other, dental care, ho-hot nurses' protective stones. The water monkey opened its mouth wide and rattled off a long string of bird language, which was completely incomprehensible. What are you babbling about? Give it to me. Zhou Yun snorted coldly, leaped forward, reached out with his left hand to part the water, and changed his right hand into a claw. Instantly, a sharp and fierce aura erupted from his claws. Sky-cracking claw. One of the 9 secret dragon claw techniques of the dragon race. This move is extremely fast. When mastered to a high level, it can even pierce through space and tear through the void to attack the opponent. Although Zhou Yun had only mastered this move to a basic level, the power he unleashed in an instant was still quite remarkable. Almost instantly, his attack reached the water monkey. Base. The sharp claws reached for the azure longbow. The water monkey's expression changed, and it wanted to retaliate. Buzz. The surrounding water rippled, and the aura of a peak second-tier demon beast emanated from it. Chapter 72, a powerful double kill. Who agrees? Who disagrees? The water monkey roared and swung its longbow like a sword at Zhou Yun's outstretched giant claw. At this moment, the power of a peak second-tier demon beast was unleashed to its fullest extent. The surrounding water was compressed by the enormous force, and bubbles the size of beans surged out. The water around it boiled instantly under the impetus of the enormous force. A bloodthirsty glint flashed in its eyes. This water monkey is quite strong among the current group of sea creatures, and it is enough to be ranked in the first tier. Even the hunched old man next to the fish dragon king's corpse shook his head slightly upon seeing this scene. Those who don't heed the advice of their elders will suffer the consequences. This young man's arm is probably gone. He had said before. With so many sea creatures here, getting in is easy, but getting out is difficult. These sea creatures gathered around this place, but did not attack them, which was obviously abnormal. Earlier, a reckless young man tried to rush out, but the moment he moved 10 meters away from the Dragon Palace's range, he was torn to pieces by dozens of terrifying attacks, turning into bloody and fleshy corpses that scattered and dissipated. It seems Zhou Yun is going to follow in that person's footsteps. The hunched old man sighed, shook his head gently, and said to his teammates beside him. In the world of cultivation, there aren't that many seniors. They're just a bunch of clueless greenhorns who can't see the bigger picture. When you're out in the game, you need to use your brain. A brainless person will die sooner or later, and won't even leave a complete corpse. As he spoke, he pointed a finger at his head. The implication is clear. Zhou Yun is brainless and a reckless brute. But the next second, however, the change was completely unexpected by everyone present. Zhou Yun, facing the water monkey, unleashed a strike with his bow as a sword, without making any dodging motion. The sharp claws continued forward. In an instant, the claws made contact with the azure longbow. A loud bang was heard with exceptional clarity in the still water. The water monkey's arm holding the bow was severed at the root, as if it had been cut off by a divine weapon. In contrast, Zhou Yun, unarmed, met the opponent's attack. The water monkey's attack, which transformed its longbow into a blade, failed to inflict any damage on Zhou Yun. Not even the slightest mark was left on Zhou Yun's fingers. What? How is this possible? Not far away, the hunched old man within the range of the fish dragon king's corpse gasped and exclaimed in surprise. He had actually witnessed this water monkey's skills firsthand. That overwhelming strength became an inescapable nightmare in his mind. A second-tier peak demon beast was equivalent to a 10-star human spirit warrior. However, the combat power they can unleash is different. The alien race has a powerful physique, and in a real fight, they are much stronger than humans of the same level. But what about now? What did he see? That young man just managed to catch his opponent's attack with his bare hands, severely injuring him while remaining completely unharmed? Did he not hear me? They probably didn't hear it. Yes. They can't hear it from this far away. The hunched old man swallowed hard, feeling as if his worldview had been shattered by Zhou Yun's attack. At this moment, Zhou Yun, firmly gripping the azure longbow, gracefully returned. He examined it closely for a moment and nodded in satisfaction. This bow has a rough design and looks very casual, but after handling it myself, I found that it was not like that at all. The patterns on it are perfectly natural, seemingly in harmony with the Tao, and clearly have an extraordinary origin. Empty-eyed, controllable, terrifying. The water monkey flew backward dozens of meters, clutching its severed arm while baring its teeth at Zhou Yun and muttering some incomprehensible gibberish. What are you babbling about? Take this. Zhou Yun gave a cold shout. He immediately engaged the enemy with the longbow he had just seized. Grasping the bowstring, the power of the azure heaven demon body within his body instantly surged, and the bowstring was drawn to its fullest extent. A faint stream of water condensed and landed on the bowstring. Zhou Yun aimed his bow and arrow at the chattering water monkey in the distance. Base. Arrows shot out. Although it was an arrow formed from flowing water, it emitted a piercing explosion like a metallic arrow after it was shot out. The arrow parted the water, moving at an incredible speed, nearly twice as fast as the water arrow shot by the water monkey earlier. In an instant, the water arrow rushed towards it. Although it was a second-tier peak sea beast, its strength was much weaker than Zhou Yun's. What Zhou Yun could dodge, it might not be able to avoid. Moreover, the attack that Zhou Yun fired was even more fierce and powerful than the water arrows it unleashed. In the blink of an eye, the water arrow pierced through the water monkey's head. With a bang. Its body was crushed into pieces under the immense water pressure. The water arrow that pierced through its head did not disappear after killing it, but continued forward, crashing into a large group of sea beasts in the distance. After hitting and killing 3 sea beasts of different levels in succession, the water arrow finally disintegrated due to exhaustion of energy. One arrow killed 4 sea monsters. This display of power sent chills down the spines of everyone present, whether human or beast. Is this still human? The hunched old man trembled slightly, his body shaking like a leaf. I hope he didn't hear what I just said. As he thought about it, he subtly and slowly retreated, shielding everyone in front of him, as if only in this way could he gain some sense of security. After standing at the very back of the crowd, he breathed a sigh of relief, raised his head, and looked back in Zhou Yun's direction. However, the moment he looked up, he was suddenly struck by the sight of a cold water arrow that had appeared silently before him. He was shot and killed by a water arrow before he could even react. Bang! His head exploded, and he died instantly, without even a chance to leave a complete corpse. I don't hold grudges overnight. Zhou Yun exhaled a breath of stale air and snorted coldly. He didn't have any deep-seated hatred for this hunched old man, but just now, while he was fighting the water monkey, the other party had mocked and cursed him. Zhou Yun would naturally not be so magnanimous as to spare his life. I never came into contact with martial arts in my past life, nor did I ever embark on cultivation. So I'll just have to endure this little bit of humiliation. But now that I've transmigrated, I'm still being secretly pointed at and gossiped about. Does that mean all my martial arts training has been for nothing? Zhou Yun was in a good mood after casually shooting the hunchbacked old man to death. He stepped onto the water and got up again, intending to leave. He snorted coldly at the distant herd of sea monsters. I'm leaving now. Who agrees? Who objects? Chapter 73, Qian Yangmu, Yuan Sabaitian. For a moment, the sea creatures fell silent, and no dissenting voices were heard. But it's also possible that they don't understand human speech. However, even though he couldn't understand human speech, Zhou Yun felt that he had clearly expressed his meaning. Among the sea creatures, none dared to stop him again. Zhou Yun then stopped lingering. With a gentle wave of his hand, he parted the ripples in front of him, stepped on the dark current, and led the two children, Feng Huihong and Wu Luan, away from the bottom of the river. However, as he left, he seemed to sense a disturbance and chaos emanating from the distant herd of sea monsters. However, no one stepped forward to stop him, so he didn't pay any attention to it. The three of them rose to the surface very quickly. In less than 10 minutes, it successfully left the bottom of the river and returned to the riverbank. The water flow is more than twice as strong and rapid as before. After jumping out of the river, Wu Luan looked at the flowing water behind her and said softly. Zhou Yun nodded. Normal, marine mammals, aquatic creatures. They are masters at stirring up trouble, and they are very powerful underwater. So many sea beasts have appeared beneath this river. Even if they are simply gathering here without activating their innate powers, the surrounding water attribute power will still change because of their appearance. Zhou Yun commented. Moreover, this is not the only river that has undergone abnormal and significant changes. He looked up at the sky. The sky was not clear at this time, with wisps of mist stretching out and moving about. Occasionally, bursts of hoarse roars and animal bellows echoed through the air, giving one a sense of impending doom. The native creatures of this world are coming. The next opportunity may not be available to us. Zhou Yun sighed. The number of powerful individuals had increased dramatically. The amount of soup and broth that a lowly henchman like him could collect would definitely decrease drastically. Let's find a place to hide and wait for the secret realm to close before we leave, Zhou Yun said slowly after a moment of contemplation. His gains were already considerable for an ordinary martial artist. This was almost the distance they would never cover in half a lifetime in less than a week. At this point, it is imperative to retreat gracefully, properly organize one's gains and achievements, and transform these resources into cultivation level and combat power. Otherwise, a slight misstep could lead to being crushed by a stronger newcomer, and all the resources you've painstakingly accumulated could become someone else's spoils. Brother Yun. If we want to leave the secret island smoothly, it's probably not enough to just try to conceal our presence and hide our bodies. At this moment, Feng Huihong, who had been silent for a long time, suddenly raised his hand and said to Zhou Yun with a bitter expression. What's wrong? Zhou Yun frowned slightly, puzzled. He pointed to the depths of the secret island, sighed softly, and said leisurely. I'm afraid the way out is in the deepest part of the secret island. Zhou Yun looked in the direction he was pointing. In the deepest part of the secret island, there were streaks of dazzling aurora light, like a dream. These dazzling aurora borealis were very similar to the aurora that guided them into the air and into this world when they entered the secret island. Good news! After more than 50 chapters on this island, it's finally time to leave. Bad news, the exit portal is located at the deepest part of the secret island. Even with their strength, Zhou Yun, who already possesses the combat power to contend with peak second-tier demonic beasts, would still face numerous dangers and a near-death experience if he wanted to reach the depths of the secret realm island and return to Haicheng through the Aurora portal. It's all right. After a short silence, Zhou Yun slowly spoke. Give it a try, there's always a chance. He could not possibly stay on the secret island. Although this may also be a real world, full of opportunities. But for him, there were still many things he cared about in Haicheng. For him, Haicheng was a place with a wider world and more freedom, and he had reasons to go back. Rumble. At this moment, a loud noise suddenly came from afar, as if a mountain had collapsed, raising a large cloud of dust. Even where Zhou Yun and the others were standing, they could feel a very obvious tremor. An earthquake? Such immense power is something that even an ordinary heavenly martial realm expert could not achieve with an attack. Zhou Yun and the others' first reaction was that an earthquake had occurred on the secret island. It was the movement of the Earth's veins that caused a distant mountain peak to collapse, making the heavens and earth rumble and sound like a scene of world destruction. Wrong. It's not an earthquake. A faint golden light flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes, and a dragon's might emanated from them, making him look powerful and mysterious. This is an application of the dragon transformation secret technique. With Zhou Yun's current cultivation level, although he cannot use multiple dragon transformation secret techniques at the same time, he can easily activate one of them individually. His golden dragon eyes flashed with a divine light, his gaze dazzling, instantly piercing through the swirling dust and smoke ahead, revealing a place extremely far away. Hiss. That is? Zhou Yun gasped, a look of shock on his face. What did he see? A towering immortal mountain rose into the air, its surface shimmering with primordial magnetic light, making it look extraordinary. On this enormous immortal mountain stood a proud and aloof man dressed in a black brocade robe. Zhou Yun was no stranger to him. He had heard his name many times and had also obtained photos of him through various channels. He is Qian Yangmu, a direct descendant of the Qian family, a family of cultivators, the young city lord of Haicheng, and a martial arts genius. He has already become a master of the heavenly martial realm at the age of 25 or 26. For Zhou Yun, he has another title. That is Su Linglong's competitor. Although, in a sense, Zhou Yun has already won Su Linglong's battle against Qian Yangmu, he has already won. However, this did not prevent Zhou Yun from having the intention of crushing it into dust. How dare you covet my woman? There is already a way to die. However, to everyone's surprise, Qian Yangmu was so lucky that he obtained such a huge Yuan magnetic treasure mountain. Zhou Yun suspected that this Yuan magnetic treasure mountain was one of the 3 opportunities mentioned by the hunchbacked old man underwater in the river that caused the 3 golden lights to move. He has already obtained the inheritance of the dragon transformation secret technique. The Yuan Ci Bashan was seized by Qian Yangmu. What is the remaining opportunity? Who will receive that final opportunity? Zhou Yun frowned. No one knew what that final opportunity was. If it were before, he might have wanted to search for it further. But now, the sudden anomaly on the secret island has attracted too many powerful individuals. Staying here any longer is not a wise choice. Chapter 74, A Secret Maneuver. Kill. At that moment, a furious shout rang out, echoing throughout the surrounding world. It's Qian Yangmu. He slapped his palms onto the Yuan magnetic treasure mountain in front of him. Starlight surged forth, pouring into the mountainside. Instantly, beams of dazzling golden light burst forth, carrying terrifying magnetic power, surging out in all directions. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Like sharp arrows, they tore through the sky, emitting a series of extremely sharp and explosive sounds. The next second, centered on the Yuan magnetic treasure mountain, more than a dozen powerful individuals were struck by the golden light, their bodies pierced through. The Yuan magnetic power spread out, pouring onto their bodies like molten iron, instantly killing them. Hiss! Zhou Yun exclaimed in surprise again. Truly, a great reputation is well deserved. Although Qian Yangmu relied on the power of the Yuan magnetic treasure mountain, the power of the attack he unleashed was truly remarkable. To be able to walk on air, one must be at least a powerful expert at the heavenly martial realm. Just now, Qian Yangmu unleashed a burst of divine power, instantly piercing through more than a dozen enemies. Of these, only a small portion were winged aliens, the rest were all human. In other words, Qian Yangmu's attack just now instantly killed nearly 10 experts at the heavenly martial realm, as well as 7 or 8 alien experts whose cultivation levels were unknown. Nearly 10 experts at the heavenly martial realm were instantly killed by Qian Yangmu with a single blow. This is terrifying. I'm afraid that a third of all the heavenly martial experts in Haicheng were wiped out by his single strike. However, not all of these martial artists actually came from Haicheng. After news of the secret realm island spread, powerful martial artists from several surrounding cities, such as Lianqing and Juncheng, rushed to the scene immediately. Therefore, those who died at Qian Yangmu's hands could also be outsiders from other cities, or other powerful rogue cultivators hiding their identities. This mountain has an owner. Those who aren't afraid of death, come and rob us. Qian Yangmu stood atop Yuansibo Mountain, hands behind his back, proudly poised. What a load of crap, it's ridiculous. Zhou Yun withdrew his gaze and snorted coldly. He set his sights on this treasure mountain. However, with his current strength, it is absolutely impossible for him to seize it. It's likely that it will be instantly killed by the opponent as soon as it shows its face. However, Qian Yangmu did do one good thing. Zhou Yun chuckled. The allure of the Yuan magnetic treasure mountain was immense. No strong person would resist possessing it. With this guy drawing fire there, his plan to secretly sneak into the depths of the secret island, into the area shrouded by the aurora, leave the island, and successfully return to Haicheng will be greatly reduced. Brother Yun. What's going on? Seeing that Zhou Yun had withdrawn his gaze, Feng Huihong quickly asked. I think I just heard Qian Yangmu's name? Feng Huihong frowned and asked. He knew that Zhou Yun had always regarded Qian Yangmu as an enemy, so he was naturally very curious and wanted to find out the truth. Zhou Yun slowly recounted to the two what he had just seen. Hiss. The primordial magnetic treasure mountain? This guy is incredibly lucky? Feng Huihong was astonished. Even a small piece of a spiritual object containing the power of primordial magnetism is priceless. Adding it to a spiritual weapon can enhance its grade and power. Xian Yangmu has a whole mountain of these precious Yuan magnetic spiritual objects. Wu Wan frowned deeply. Something seems off. Yuanci Baoshan is one of the purest products of Earth's magnetic field. Legend has it that it can only be born in places where the Earth's spiritual energy is most concentrated. Although this secret realm is not small, the possibility of it simultaneously giving birth to a land of wind spirit, a land of fire spirit, and a land of earth spirit, all three of these attributes, is extremely slim. Wu Wantan spoke softly, gently reminding Zhou Yun of the special features of this secret realm. Zhou Yun nodded. He had already noticed this. Moreover, there are more than just these three places of spiritual energy in the secret realm. Deep within the secret island, Su Linglong also found a land of ice spirits, and through it, she awakened the special physique of the Ice Emperor Saint Body. In addition, there's the secret treasure left behind by the mysterious powerful being who transformed from an angel into a fallen demon, and the dragon transformation technique passed down by the azure-clad fish dragon king who slumbers here. The quality of this secret realm is terrifyingly high. Walk. The secret realm is wonderful, but we've already gained quite a bit of benefit. It's time to leave. Zhou Yun led the two men to a swift retreat. With a gust of wind beneath his feet, starlight gathered, twinkling and weaving into dragon-shaped marks the size of a thumb. With this enhancement, he became extremely fast. Although it cannot compare to the shrinking earth to an inch technique, it is far superior to others. Even some second-tier movement techniques cannot catch up with him and will be left far behind. Yun, brother Yun. Slow down. You practically vomited up my breakfast from the day before yesterday. Zhou Yun carried Feng Huihong and Wu Wan in each hand, and quickly walked through the mountains and forests. There was no way around it, his speed was too fast. Even martial artists of the same level couldn't see his back when using their movement techniques. Not to mention Feng Huihong and Wu Wan, whose cultivation levels were far lower than his. If Zhou Yun hadn't grabbed them and traveled together, they probably wouldn't have even reached the depths of the secret island by the time he entered the area shrouded by the aurora. Clang! Suddenly, a metallic clang, the sound of clashing swords and spears, echoed through the mountains and forests. This tree is mine. I planted this mountain. We must pass through here. Leave your toll behind. Ahead, a bald, fat monk with a monk's scar on his head leaned against a tree, carrying a horse-slaying sword. After chanting a Buddhist prayer, he recited a doggerel about robbing people. Beside this fat monk were three other monks, all dressed as monks with ordination scars on their heads. Robbery. Hand over 50 star cores of second-tier demonic beasts, or 50 second-tier spiritual herbs, and I may consider letting you pass. Otherwise, I'll kill all three of you and let your souls pass away. The fat monk snorted coldly, a chilling murderous intent flashing in his eyes. Zhou Yun narrowed his eyes and fixed his gaze on him. This guy is quite strong among cultivators at the spirit warrior realm. He's definitely a top-tier expert in the first tier. It could even be said that this guy has already stepped into the realm of heavenly martial artist. As long as he cultivates step by step, given time, he will surely become a powerful heavenly martial artist who dominates the region. Where did this wild monk come from? He can't even recite a poem properly. You planted this mountain, you grew these trees, you fucking did it. You son of a bitch. You fucking bastard. Without wasting words, Zhou Yun released his grip on Feng Huihong and Wu Wan's hands, picked up the dragon-patterned black gold spear, and charged forward. Chapter 75, Kill. Others are not a threat. However, the fat monk in the lead was quite powerful. With time of the essence, Zhou Yun had no intention of testing the waters and launched his strongest attack. Zhou Yunlong walked with the stride of a tiger, his back straight, his blood surging within him, like a humanoid dragon, exuding a majestic aura. Holding the gun with both hands, he unleashed a powerful and heavy blow forward. A dragon emerges from the sea. This spear technique is simply a straightforward thrust. However, after Zhou Yun obtained the dragon transformation secret technique, this move seemed to awaken its own spirituality. The gun was heavy and imposing, its beam tearing through the sky like a black dragon bearing its fangs and claws, charging forward with ferocious intent. The fat, big-eared monk opposite him sharpened his gaze and instantly stood up straight. Those who can cultivate to his level are not ordinary people. Instantly, they realized that Zhou Yun was no ordinary person and could not be underestimated. Immediately, he waved his hand, and immense force burst forth between his fingers, instantly grasping the heavy horse-slaying sword in his hand. "Kid, you're pretty arrogant, aren't you? Take this from Grandpa Monk. This guy is big and muscular, with a lot of strength. He looks like he's going to be incredibly powerful." With a powerful and heavy slash, the blade came crashing down towards Zhou Yun's spear. "Overestimating yourself." Zhou Yun sneered. Anyone who dares to confront him head-on is practically courting death. Although the fat monk's cultivation had reached the level of a 10-star spiritual martial artist, he was only a 10-star chi martial artist, a whole major realm higher than him. If the opponent were to fight him with profound cultivation, he might suffer some hardship and have to expend considerable effort to defeat him. However, if it were a head-on confrontation, Zhou Yun was confident that he could shatter the opponent's heart meridian within 3 moves and kill him directly. The next moment, the dragon-patterned black gold spear in the horse-slaying saber collided with a loud bang. An invisible wave of sound swept outwards. The bald men next to the fat monk were caught off guard and struck by the sudden sound wave, instantly feeling as if they had been crushed by a hard boulder. He was dizzy and lightheaded, his abdomen trembled, his face was ashen, and bright red blood was flowing from his mouth and nose. Zhou Yun sighed. Feng Huihong and Wu Wan were well prepared. They knew that when the two clashed, even a single aftershock would be beyond their ability to withstand. Therefore, the moment Zhou Yun made his move, they turned around and ran in the opposite direction. Therefore, it was not affected much. The Overlord Spear? The fat monk narrowed his eyes slightly, his expression serious. The force of the recoil from their exchange of blows had left his hands numb and his arms trembling. Only then did he realize that the black spear in Zhou Yun's hand was actually the Overlord Spear, forged from a certain metal. Generally speaking, people who choose the Overlord Spear as their weapon are either clueless naives who know nothing about weaponry, or he is a terrifyingly powerful individual who is extremely confident in his own strength. Zhou Yun, despite being far below him in cultivation level, was able to unleash terrifying combat power that even he feared. Obviously, he couldn't be some clueless greenhorn. Then there's only one possibility. He was extremely confident in his strength. His physical power was terrifying to the extreme. The fat monk felt a mixture of excitement and fear. What's exciting is that Zhou Yun, a mere chi martial artist at such a young age, possesses such combat power, which must indicate extraordinary experiences and possibly unimaginable opportunities. If they can kill him and seize those opportunities, he might soar to great heights and become a top expert within the Dragon Kingdom. What he feared was that, after exchanging a single blow, he felt he might not be a match for Zhou Yun. In the end, he might be the one who dies. Thinking of this, the fat monk's heart trembled again and again. He has killed at least 80 or 100 martial artists, but he is still terrified of the possibility of death. He didn't want to die. The world is so big, and I haven't seen it yet. The fat monk roared and struck a pose resembling an angry Vajra, feeding demons with flesh and blood. After a roar, bursts of crimson blood energy surged from his body. Instantly, his muscles bulged, and mysterious magical runes appeared one after another. Behind him, a black demonic figure wielding a giant axe appeared. The demonic figure opened its mouth and inhaled, swallowing most of the flesh and blood essence from his body. In an instant, the fat monk visibly aged considerably, and even the round lumps of fat on his body shrank considerably. He ignited his life essence, activated a mysterious martial art, and summoned a terrifying demonic phantom. Boom! The demonic figure swung its massive black axe, delivering a powerful and heavy blow, as if it possessed the power to split the heavens and the earth. Zhou Yun sneered. I was originally planning to kill you in 3 moves. I never expected you to dare to use your martial arts skills in front of me and borrow the power of the demon race. You asked for it. The next moment, he activated the power of his bloodline, and streaks of purple gold divine light suddenly appeared. Instantly, a chilling and fierce demonic aura filled the entire dense forest. A purple gold light flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes, and wisps of demonic energy coiled around his body. At this moment, he looked more like a demon than the black shadow wielding the giant axe. Die! A surge of demonic energy enveloped Zhou Yun, causing him to completely ignore the giant axe brought down by the demonic shadow above. He then swung his dragon-patterned black gold spear at the fat monk. The demon race has a strict hierarchy based on bloodline. Zhou Yun's heavenly demon body possesses incomparably noble demonic blood flowing within him. This demonic phantom was nothing more than an insignificant nobody. Even if Zhou Yun stood still, the giant axe that the opponent swung down could not harm him in the slightest. It could be said that the attack summoned by the fat monk, who sacrificed half of his life essence, was completely wasted the moment it appeared. No! How is this possible? Those are insane, bloodthirsty demons. Why doesn't he attack you? What did you do to make him ignore you? The fat monk's face was distorted, resembling a vengeful ghost. His face was filled with disbelief. The scene before him was so shocking that it completely exceeded his expectations. However, all that answered him was a cold, long spear. You have no right to know. Zhou Yun snorted coldly. If it were before, he would not have chosen to sacrifice his life essence, but instead continued to fight Zhou Yun with his strength. Zhou Yun's move probably won't hurt him. But now. Base. Zhou Yun unleashed a sweeping strike, the cold, sharp spear light drawing a graceful arc. He instantly cut his opponent in half at the waist, splitting his body in two, resulting in a gruesome death. After killing his opponent, Zhou Yun sheathed his spear and stood still. The demonic shadow, having lost the life essence that sustained its form, swayed slightly twice before instantly turning into wisps of green smoke and disappearing. Chapter 76, The Beast Tide. You're asking for it. After Zhou Yun snorted coldly, a spear light suddenly appeared. Like a black dragon, it flew out with bared fangs and claws, instantly passing through the bodies of the remaining monks beside it and killing them all. They acquired 2 second-tier spiritual weapons, 7 first-tier spiritual weapons, and 6 storage bags. Store all these spoils in the chest jar space. Killing someone and not looting their body is like killing them for nothing. Brother Yun, a beast tide has appeared to the south. Just as Zhou Yun was sorting through his harvest, Feng Weihong ran over with a serious expression and said in a deep voice. Just now, to prevent the aftershocks from Zhou Yun's battle from accidentally injuring them. He and Wu Luan retreated far away, almost as far as a mountain away from Zhou Yun and the others. Just now, on that mountaintop, he saw a vast, billowing cloud of dust rising in the distance. The two focused their attention and investigated, only to discover that a large group of demonic beasts had gathered to the south, forming a massive beast tide that was rushing towards the depths of the secret island. Upon hearing this, Zhou Yun's expression changed instantly. A beast tide? Every time this word appears, it signifies a bloody storm. Although most of the beast tides consist of low-ranking monsters, mainly first and second-rank monsters, there are very few monsters of the third rank or higher. However, although they are not of high rank, they are extremely numerous. The number of monsters that can gather into a tide is at least tens of thousands. Faced with a terrifying tide of monsters, even a powerful expert at the heavenly martial realm could not guarantee that he would survive to the end unscathed. There's a saying among ordinary people, many ants can kill an elephant. The same applies here. Tens of thousands of first and second tier demonic beasts swarmed in, enough to overwhelm even a powerful expert at the heavenly martial realm. A beast tide has appeared, and the danger level in this secret realm has more than doubled. Zhou Yun's face turned ashen. Although his strength was not bad, it was far from enough to turn the tide in the beast tide. Then, he stretched out his hands on both sides and lifted Feng Huihong and Wu Luan up. With his feet stepping on golden dragon-shaped runes, he moved as fast as the wind and ran towards the depths of the secret island. Brother Yun! Faster! There are flying birds behind that horse, they're incredibly fast, like lightning. Feng Huihong tilted his head back, closely observing the movements of the beast tide behind him. The beast tide was moving very fast, and even Zhou Yun could only barely keep a distance from them. Moreover, this state did not last long. His unusual behavior seemed to have attracted the attention of some powerful figures within the beast tide. A swarm of incredibly fast demonic birds suddenly appeared and flew towards him. Wu Luan's posture was the same as Feng Huihong's, with her buttocks facing forward and her head facing backward, directly facing the group of monsters chasing after her. Although, this posture isn't very elegant, with a formidable enemy at hand, she couldn't care less about that. Her life was the most important thing. She held a bright blue longbow in her hand. It was the same magical artifact that Zhou Yun had snatched from the water monkey outside the Dragon King's palace underwater in the river. At this moment, she held it in her hand, drew her bow, and a blue arrow condensed on the bowstring, which was actually formed from the breeze. She drew the bowstring taut, aimed at the pursuers behind her, and with a sharp whoosh, fired an arrow. Although her strength was not enough to kill the pursuing demonic bird with a single arrow, it was enough to disrupt the opponent's pursuit rhythm and provide Zhou Yun with better conditions to escape. Running like this indefinitely isn't a solution. Eventually, we'll run out of energy. Why not take a gamble and run in Qian Yangmu's direction? A sly glint flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes. These beast tides were a formidable and deadly enemy to him, but for Qian Yangmu, they were a different story. As a heavenly warrior who had also acquired an incomparably precious Yuan magnetic treasure mountain, he was able to unleash far more combat power and methods than Zhou Yun in the face of this terrifying beast tide. Zhou Yun felt no remorse for tricking him. It was just a matter of escaping for one's life. It wasn't really a scam. At most, we can be considered fellow Taoists on the same path. Thinking of this, he decisively changed direction and rushed towards the direction where Qian Yangmu had previously unleashed the power to shake the Yuan magnetic treasure mountain. At this moment, on a low, dark red hill, Qian Yangmu, dressed in a black brocade robe and with a face as beautiful as jade, was sitting quietly cross-legged on a huge rock. He closed his eyes tightly, and starlight surged around him, drawing starlight energy from beyond the heavens and channeling it into his limbs and bones to replenish the damage he had just suffered in the battle. Before him, a fist-sized mountain, shimmering with golden light, was spinning rapidly. This small hill is none other than the Yuan magnetic treasure mountain that shook the entire Secret Realm Island before. Around Qian Yangmu were no fewer than 30 corpses of varying sizes. There were humans and demon beasts, and the only thing they had in common was that they had all reached the level of heavenly martial artist. The deaths of these humans and demons were extremely gruesome. Their entire bodies looked as if they had been crushed by a giant mountain, their flesh and blood transformed from a 3D form into a 2D plane. Call. Although this Yuan magnetic treasure mountain is good and powerful, its shortcomings are also very obvious. With just one strike, all the stellar energy within me was drained. And yet, I haven't even unleashed its full power yet. Qian Yangmu opened his eyes, a hint of fatigue flashing in them, but mostly the joy of obtaining a great treasure. To fully activate this Yuan magnetic treasure mountain, one would probably need at least the cultivation level of a saint martial artist. The realm of a saint warrior is probably only attainable by legendary figures. Those who are skilled in martial arts, as long as they have a certain talent for cultivation and put in some effort and hard work, even if they only rely on time to hone their skills, have hope of breaking through their limitations within their lifetime. But it's different for holy warriors. How could someone who was called a saint be an ordinary person? Leaving aside those further back, let's just talk about his father, Xian Jinshan, the city lord of Haicheng, who has been stuck at the 10-star heavenly martial realm for a full 15 years. I've always said I've touched the threshold of that realm, but I've never been able to get started, never truly taken that step. However, I'm different. A surge of heroic spirit suddenly welled up in Qian Yangmu's heart. With the primordial magnetic treasure mountain in hand, I can use it to comprehend the power of primordial magnetic and break through the saint realm barrier with this path. My speed in breaking through to Saint Martial Warrior will definitely be much faster than my father's. He looked at the Yuan magnetic treasure mountain before him, his eyes filled with fervor. This Yuan magnetic treasure mountain is the greatest opportunity he has ever received since birth. It is a rare treasure worth his life to protect. Just then, he suddenly felt the rocks beneath him shake, as if 1,000 troops were swarming towards him. What's going on? Another blind bastard has come to steal my Yuan magnetic treasure mountain? He snorted coldly, reached out and lifted the Yuan magnetic treasure mountain in front of him into his palm. Qian Yangmu stood up, his eyes sparkling like stars, and looked into the distance. The next second, his pupils widened suddenly, and his previous calm expression vanished. Holy crap! A beast tide. Chapter 77, Setting Him Up. Even Qian Yangmu's expression changed instantly when faced with the overwhelming tide of beasts. Putting everything else aside, just looking at the countless, densely packed strange beasts is enough to make one's scalp tingle. Damn it, how could a beast tide suddenly erupt out of nowhere? Qian Yangmu's eyes flashed with starlight as he scanned the direction of the beast tide. After watching for a while, he indeed noticed something unusual. You son of a bitch. So this beast tide was lured here by someone. Qian Yangmu gritted his teeth, his eyes flashing with a fierce light as he looked at Zhou Yun. He didn't know who Zhou Yun was, nor did he know what he and the other two had done that had caused such a horrific incident that it triggered a beast tide. However, he was absolutely certain that the beast tide was attracted by Zhou Yun and his group. Okay. Trying to use me as a scapegoat, huh? I'll kill you first. Qian Yangmu's mind raced, and he instantly understood Zhou Yun's thoughts and intentions. They wanted to drag him down with them, to make Qian Yangmu fight to the death with the beast tide, so that these three guys could find a chance to break through and escape. Qian Yangmu had lived a life of luxury for over 20 years and was always the one who had the final say in Haicheng. No one had ever dared to defy him. Now that someone dares to challenge his authority and use him as a pawn, he naturally won't be stingy with the star energy within him. Immediately, he reached out and summoned a purple lightning spear in his hand. Lightning flashed, and the spear was sharp. This purple lightning spear was clearly formed from star energy, but it possessed the ferocity of lightning and the sharpness of a spear. This is an extremely profound martial art recorded in the Xie family's inherited technique, the art of thunder control. With a single thrust of the spear, it possesses the power to shatter mountains and shatter rocks, capable of instantly annihilating a formidable enemy. It can be said that this lightning spear attack was one of the strongest martial arts techniques he had ever mastered. Now, his strongest attack is naturally the attack from the Yuan Magnetic Treasure Mountain. However, activating the Yuan Magnetic Treasure Mountain for an attack consumes too much energy. Moreover, killing 3 minor Qi martial artists and then directly activating the Yuan Magnetic Treasure Mountain would be a waste of talent, like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Yes, Xian Yangmu had keen intuition and a powerful spiritual sense. Even from a great distance, he had already discerned Zhou Yun's cultivation level. He was merely a minor 10-star Qi martial artist. Call out. The spear ripped through the void, accompanied by a thunderous roar, and hurtled towards the direction Zhou Yun was heading. After launching his attack, Xian Yangmu immediately turned around, and a long rainbow suddenly appeared. He soared into the air and sped towards the depths of the secret island. As for whether the purple lightning spear can successfully kill Zhou Yun and the other two, he had no doubt about this. What a joke! He's a powerful expert at the heavenly martial realm. Once activated, a mere Qi cultivator has absolutely no chance of dodging such a powerful martial art. A real man never looks back at an explosion. He'll eat the soles of the shoes if any of the 3 survive. All 3 survived, and they live-streamed themselves eating their underwear. Zhou Yun moved like a swimming dragon, incredibly swift. Even though the monsters behind him were extremely fast, they couldn't even touch the hem of his clothes. Damn it! Not good. Just as he was focused on escaping, he suddenly felt a sense of alarm, as if his life was in grave danger. He looked up and gazed ahead. Suddenly, a purple spear appeared in front of them, crackling with terrifying lightning power. Once struck by the spear, the power of thunder will erupt instantly, and the 3 of them will definitely face certain death. Damn it! Xian Yangmu! Zhou Yun roared angrily. The instant he saw the purple spear, he caught a glimpse of Xian Yangmu riding the divine rainbow and escaping into the sky. Instantly, it became clear who had unleashed the spear. Xian Yangmu has been added to Zhou Yun's kill list. He will be killed when the opportunity arises. However, the most urgent task now is to get through this current hurdle. Dragon's tail swing. Faced with the sudden attack of the purple lightning spear, Zhou Yun remained calm. Instantly, a countermeasure was conceived. With a light touch of his toes on the ground, he unleashed a sweeping kick, like a golden dragon swinging its massive tail. The next second, a tremendous force erupted, and Zhou Yun's leg struck the tip of the spear. The sharp spearhead tore through his calf muscles, spilling blood. However, Zhou Yun's attack successfully changed the direction of the purple lightning spear. He swept the spear behind him and sent it hurtling into the horde of beasts. The next second, the power of thunder erupted, and the spear directly triggered a huge explosion. Zhou Yun was not far from the center of the explosion, and was naturally blasted away by the force, falling to the ground in a very disheveled state some distance away. However, he could withstand it with his heavenly demon body, but Feng Huihong and Wu Luan could not. The immense impact caused considerable damage to their internal organs, leaving their faces ashen and their breath weak. If Zhou Yun hadn't shielded them from most of the aftershocks, they would probably have died in the explosion just now. Damn it! You bastard surnamed Xian, I'll kill you sooner or later. Anger surged in Zhou Yun's eyes, and he let out a cold snort. It was just a small trick, why are you being so petty? Are you going to go all out? He didn't dare delay and immediately poured a large mouthful of earth fire spirit liquid into the mouths of Feng Huihong and Wu Luan to stabilize their injuries and keep them alive. He then poured several mouthfuls of earth fire spirit liquid into his mouth, activating its life essence to repair the injury on his calf. Although all 3 were somewhat disheveled, fortunately, the purple lightning spear had landed in the horde of monsters, temporarily halting the beast tide. This gave them a brief respite. Brother Yun, what should we do? Should we change direction or continue following Xian Yangmu? Zhou Yun's speed in his all-out escape was not much slower than Xian Yangmu's flight. If you follow him and he spots you, you'll inevitably get hit by a few more purple lightning spears. However, if the direction is changed at the last minute, then the distance to the depths of the secret island will be even greater. With pursuers at your back, escaping unscathed becomes even more difficult. Follow Qian Yangmu. This guy has a lot of treasures on him, and the beasts aren't stupid either. The monsters that control the beast tide must be quite intelligent. After they've seen Qian Yang Mu's methods, they will definitely split up to hunt him down. At that time, our pressure will be much less. Zhou Yun made a decision instantly. Without waiting for the injury on his calf to fully heal, he activated the movement technique from the Dragon Transformation secret art and ran away. As he ran, he poured the Earth Fire Spirit liquid onto his calves. Such precious spiritual objects are effective both internally and externally, but their greatest use is in cultivation. Using them to heal injuries would be a waste. However, given the current critical situation, he couldn't afford to waste any more resources. Survival is the priority. No matter how important resources are, you have to be alive to enjoy it. Chapter 78, Seeking Fur from Wolves. Roar! Suddenly, a wolf's howl shook the heavens and the earth. Zhou Yun trembled, feeling the hairs on his body stand on end. It was just an ordinary wolf howl, yet it was filled with oppressive power. A third-tier demonic beast. It's definitely a third-tier demonic beast, and one of the best among them. Zhou Yun felt a chill run down his spine, guessing that this wolf was one of the controllers and initiators of the beast tide. Moreover, judging from the sound, the wolf was very close to him. Given the speed of a third-tier demon beast, it could probably reach him in the blink of an eye. The next second, he felt a blur before his eyes. A huge wolf demon with silver-white fur appeared before him. The wolf demon was enormous, its head as big as a Wuling Hongguang minivan, and it exuded immense pressure as it stood before Zhou Yun. Behind it grows a pair of dark purple wings, giving it an air of mystery. Tier 3 monster. It's definitely a Tier 3 monster. Zhou Yun had no doubt about its strength. His divine sense far surpasses that of other martial artists of the same level, so his perception is naturally accurate. It's over. Am I really going to die here? A feeling of despair rose in his heart. After careful consideration, I realized that I actually still had quite a few trump cards up my sleeve. However, if he encounters a monster that has just broken through to the 3rd rank, he might still have a fighting chance. But the guy in front of me is clearly not someone who just broke through. At the very least, he is a late-stage Tier 3 being. Well, after obtaining this system, I kept reminding myself to stay calm and play it safe. But I can't help wanting to cause trouble every time. I can't calm down. Now the retribution has finally come. Zhou Yun felt a bitter taste in his mouth. It would be very difficult to survive against this purple-winged silver wolf. He could only take it one step at a time. A whoa! The silver wolf opened its huge mouth and let out a loud howl. Feng Huihong and Wu Luan's legs went weak and they almost collapsed to the ground. This wolf howl was imbued with a powerful divine force, which almost instantly shattered the fighting spirit of the two. Their faces were deathly pale, as if they had lost their parents. Such is the path of cultivation. No one knows when a powerful enemy might suddenly appear from some corner and inadvertently take their life. The road is hard, the road is hard, the road is rugged, where is it now? However, unlike them. After a brief moment of shock and fear, a hint of surprise suddenly flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes. Just now, amidst the divine thoughts mixed in with the roar of the purple-winged Wolf King, he heard another meaning. Although he and the Wolf King did not speak the same language, divine sense, as the most primal and pure code that can reach the depths of the soul, allows for barrier-free communication between different races. Just now, Zhou Yun analyzed the meaning in the purple-winged Wolf King's divine thought and relayed a sentence. Hand over the secret technique of transforming into a dragon. It came for the secret technique of transforming into a dragon. Zhou Yun felt a little more at ease. There's something on their mind, something they're plotting, something they're aiming for, which means communication is possible. What I fear most is that the other party is a hothead who only wants to taste the saltiness of human flesh that would be the real end of the world. The dragon transformation secret technique? How did Senior Wolf King know that I possessed the dragon transformation technique? Zhou Yun did not choose to deny it. Because the opposing force was far too strong, the two sides in this negotiation were unequal from the very beginning. If he continues to evade the issue, it will inevitably be disrespectful to the other party. This is making their negotiations more difficult. Hand over the dragon transformation technique, or die. The purple-winged Wolf King let out a low growl from its throat and sent out another divine thought. At the same time, it extended a claw, its sharp, cold gleaming edge clearly signifying its intention. Instead of responding to Zhou Yun's question, it continued to press him, demanding that he directly reveal the dragon transformation secret technique. However, this time, Zhou Yun will not back down. He needed to know how the purple-winged Wolf King had discovered that he possessed the secret technique of transforming into a dragon. He has only recently left the Dragon Palace, so not many people should know about it. We must try to cover it up and prevent further trouble. Otherwise, if everyone knew that he possessed the dragon transformation technique, he would never have a peaceful day again. Wherever he went, he would be hunted down by those who coveted the dragon transformation technique. Zhou Yun's figure was reflected in the huge wolf eyes. It stared at Zhou Yun for a few seconds. His throat trembled up and down, and he let out a few sobs. Your speed, your legs. Zhou Yun's gaze sharpened, and he looked down at his legs. On his calf, a faint rune was shimmering softly. Upon closer inspection, a faint dragon-shaped mark could be discerned. He instantly understood. His escape speed was abnormal, far exceeding that of other martial artists of the same level. In addition, dragon-shaped runes were constantly flashing on his legs. With these 2 points as evidence, it is not difficult to deduce that the dragon transformation secret technique is on him. Moreover, if the other party is willing to investigate, they will definitely be able to find out evidence that he was once active near the Fish Dragon King's corpse. After all, when he left that great river, there were quite a few sea monsters lingering there. Many sea creatures have witnessed him powerfully killing the sea monkey and leaving the water. It seems I'll have to keep a lower profile from now on, or rather, I'll need to conceal myself when using the dragon transformation secret technique. Fortunately, while there were many demonic beasts with dragon patterns on their legs when he used his movement techniques, few had the insight to directly associate them with the dragon transformation secret technique. Zhou Yun looked at the purple-winged wolf king in front of him. Once this problem is solved, virtually no one will know the secret. Only a few. Defeating this purple-winged wolf king will be extremely difficult. He didn't have the power to kill him to silence him. The only thing we can do is try to make a deal with it and get it to shut up on its own. But the other party's demand was that Zhou Yun hand over the dragon transformation secret technique. This is something he absolutely cannot accept. The dragon transformation secret technique is of great importance. For him, it may only be a reference for a cultivation method, or a series of systematic martial arts techniques. But it's different for demonic beasts. They can directly abandon their own bloodline and evolve towards becoming dragons, but Zhou Yun will not abandon his Azure Heaven demon body bloodline. Therefore, the dragon transformation technique is far more important to demonic beasts than to him. To rashly hand over the secret technique to a strange beast is to create a formidable enemy for the future human race. But how can they negotiate with the purple-winged wolf king in a balanced way, ensuring the survival of all three without giving it the secret technique to transform into a dragon? That's the key. Perhaps, only the system can save me. Zhou Yun gave a bitter smile. Chapter 79, Negotiation. This purple-winged wolf king is too powerful. It can be said that on the entire Secret Realm Island, apart from a few individuals, no one is its match. If you add the massive beast-type it controls, it's likely that no one on the entire secret island will be able to escape unscathed from its grasp. Even Xiejinshan, the city lord of Haicheng, couldn't do it. After much deliberation, Zhou Yun realized that the only key to breaking the deadlock was to rely on his own system. Only if the system refreshes and provides a crucial and powerful enhancement can he get rid of this purple-winged wolf king. Judging by the time, there should be about an hour left before the system settlement at midnight. His main task now is to keep the purple-winged wolf king occupied for an hour, stall until the system settles the score, and break the deadlock. After figuring out these key points, Zhou Yun felt a little more at ease. In any case, at least we saw a glimmer of hope. Immediately, he straightened up, straightened his clothes slightly, and bowed slightly to the purple-winged wolf king. Senior Wolf King, if you can truly guarantee the safety of the three of us, I am happy to offer you this secret technique. Only. He frowned slightly, a look of hesitation on his face. The purple-winged wolf king was indeed fooled. A glint of excitement and joy flashed in its large wolf eyes. It panted heavily and took a small step forward in a hurry. But what? Speak quickly. Humans are the most annoying kind of creatures. They have so many twists and turns. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Why all the nonsense? However, Zhou Yun had no idea what it was thinking. Knowing it was urgent, Zhou Yun knew he couldn't rush things in order to buy time. Then, Zhou Yun took out 2 small cups of Earth Fire Spirit liquid and transferred them into Feng Huihong and Wu Luan's bodies. They were soothed from their injuries, which had been agitated by the purple-winged wolf king's oppressive aura. After the two had finished breathing and were in a stable condition, Zhou Yun walked back to the purple-winged wolf king. Kid. Don't try to play tricks on me. Let me tell you, stalling for time is useless. Once you fall into my hands, no one can save you. The purple-winged wolf king snorted coldly, its eyes filled with contempt and indifference. With its intelligence, it could easily see through Zhou Yun's plan to stall for time. It expressed utter disdain for this. There are many powerful beings on the secret island, but few can rival it. Those people are basically all in the deepest part of the secret island, plotting to seize the strongest opportunity. It can be said that, apart from it, no other third-tier powerhouse has discovered any trace of the dragon transformation secret technique. In other words, for Zhou Yun at this moment, there was absolutely no one to help him. Furthermore, even if other powerful individuals did appear here, they would not possibly side with Zhou Yun. It's highly likely they'll side with it and plot to seize Zhou Yun's dragon transformation technique. Senior Wolf King, I know you're in a hurry. But don't rush. Zhou Yun's mindset was not as anxious as the purple-winged Wolf King believed. He was indeed stalling for time, but he wasn't waiting for other powerful figures who were elusive and intangible. He was waiting for the system's settlement. He shrugged and made a helpless expression and gesture towards the purple-winged Wolf King in front of him. I obtained the dragon transformation secret technique by chance, and I haven't fully figured it out yet. It might not be so simple to pass it on to you. As soon as he finished speaking, the purple-winged Wolf King's eyes sharpened instantly. Can't produce it? What use are you then? Why don't I take it myself? It snorted coldly, like a thunderous roar, carrying an undeniable majesty. For martial artists or demonic beasts with strong spiritual power, soul searching is not a difficult task. However, the process of searching the soul is extremely painful and can cause irreversible damage to the target's soul. Moreover, this damage can also lead to incomplete memory of the other party, which in turn can result in incomplete information about the target being searched, or even some very serious errors. However, if Zhou Yun does not cooperate and is unwilling to hand over the dragon transformation secret technique, it really doesn't mind searching Zhou Yun's soul. This action may result in the dragon transformation technique it acquired being incomplete. However, something is better than nothing. A forced melon may not be sweet, but it will certainly quench your thirst. Zhou Yun sighed again, his face showing concern for the purple-winged Wolf King. Even soul searching won't work, Senior Wolf King. Have you ever heard of soul binding restrictions? After I obtained the dragon transformation secret technique, a powerful restriction appeared in my soul. If someone tries to search my soul and forcibly seize the dragon transformation secret technique, the restriction will be triggered instantly, burning my soul and the soul of the soul searcher to ashes. Therefore, if you try to search my soul, you will not only fail to obtain the dragon transformation technique, but you will also lose your life. Zhou Yun's words were obviously fabricated. However, it would certainly be very useful to the purple-winged Wolf King, who was obsessed with the secret technique of transforming into a dragon. It can make the other party hesitant to act against him, preventing them from taking forceful action. Sure enough, after hearing Zhou Yun's words, a conflicted expression appeared on the purple-winged Wolf King's face. Its bloodline grade is not high, it can only support its cultivation to the 4th level at most. It is now a top-tier 3rd-order demon beast, which means it has almost reached the pinnacle of its life's achievements. Without the dragon transformation technique, my achievements in this life would probably be locked at this level. Just as it fell silent, Zhou Yun smiled faintly, a slight upturn to his lips. In negotiations, whoever learns the other party's bottom line first naturally has the advantage. Although this purple-winged Wolf King was powerful, Zhou Yun had already seen through its trump card in purpose. He is naturally able to take the initiative. However, the opponent was, after all, a demonic beast. We cannot judge things by common sense, and we cannot corner the other party. Otherwise, if the purple-winged Wolf King gets angry and flips the table, slapping him to death, that wouldn't be fun. Since we've hit them hard, we have to give them something in return. Only by offering it a certain temptation can Zhou Yun be considered truly safe. Seeing the purple-winged Wolf King lost in thought, Zhou Yun coughed lightly and spoke again. Senior Wolf King, I actually have another way that would be mutually beneficial and a win-win situation for both of us. You cannot obtain the dragon transformation secret technique through soul search. However, I can teach you after I have sorted it out and mastered it through cultivation. In this way, it will not be restricted by the restrictions. As of now, I have already mastered 2 martial arts techniques, Sky-Splitting Claw and Dragon Tail Sweep. Now I can impart their true essence to you. However, I have one condition: you must guarantee the safety of the 3 of us. Otherwise, I would rather die than teach you those martial arts techniques. Chapter 80, Dear System, you finally arrived. Or, I can gradually teach you the secret technique of transforming into a dragon. Either you kill me, or you get nothing. These are the two options Zhou Yun offered. These two choices are not difficult to decide. Or rather, the purple-winged wolf king had no choice. If it wants to continue its cultivation and achieve another breakthrough, it must obtain the dragon transformation secret technique. The cold wolf eye slowly closed, and the purple-winged wolf king was also struggling internally. It is an incredibly powerful third-tier demon beast, and on this secret island, it can be considered a demon king-level powerhouse. But at this moment, it was actually outmaneuvered by a tiny human. The key issue is that it seems I really don't have a choice. Purple wings, oh purple wings, where is your pride? You've just given up like this? Orcs will never be slaves. How dare you be manipulated by a mere human? Slap him to death. What dragon transformation technique? I have no interest in it. Arrogance? What a load of rubbish. It won't feed you. I'll cultivate, I'll climb step by step to the very top, I'll become wolf high. The orcs said they would never be slaves, and they also said they would only be slaves if they were provided with food and lodging. Besides, we are wolves, not orcs, so what they say has nothing to do with us. Besides, we're not going to be slaves to this kid. This is a collaboration, a win-win situation. In just a few minutes, the purple-winged wolf king had mentally prepared himself. When he opened his eyes again, the murderous intent and ruthlessness deep within them had almost completely faded, replaced by a faint hint of appeasement. It coughed lightly and composed its micro-expressions. I think your suggestion makes some sense. It is indeed a mutually beneficial proposal. I agree. From this day forward, I will protect your safety at all times. In addition, you must teach me the secret technique of transforming into a dragon. And you just said you've mastered the sky-splitting claw and the divine dragon tail? Quickly teach them to me, let me see just how extraordinary these legendary dragon transformation techniques are. The purple-winged wolf king's body slowly shrank, becoming about the same size as Zhou Yun, instantly reducing the oppressive feeling. It sent a divine thought to Zhou Yun, urging him to teach it the martial arts techniques of sky-splitting claw and dragon tail swing. However, Zhou Yun's gaze was not on it at this moment. He stared blankly at the distant mountains and clouds, as if he were wandering in a dream. The purple-winged wolf king let out a low howl of impatience, which finally woke Zhou Yun up. I'm sorry, Senior Wolf King, I was just thinking about something and got a little distracted. I will now impart to you the key points and techniques of the sky-splitting claw and the dragon tail swing. Zhou Yun's face was full of smiles, a genuine joy and happiness. He wasn't just momentarily lost in thought. Instead, I suddenly heard a system notification tone. Just now, the clock quietly struck midnight. The system settlement interface has been refreshed, and the settlement of today's achievement points has begun. However, even so, he did not overreact. As planned, the sky-splitting claw and dragon tail swing were taught to the purple-winged wolf king. Regardless of whether the system can refresh and enhance the system to resolve the current crisis, he will be able to safely preserve his life. When the purple-winged wolf king saw that Zhou Yun had come to his senses, he nodded slightly. They watched intently as Zhou Yun displayed the dragon-shaped runes. While techniques like sky-splitting claw and dragon tail sweep are offensive martial arts skills, they are not the core mental techniques within the dragon transformation secret art. However, fully comprehending and understanding this will greatly benefit one's future practice of the true dragon transformation technique, enabling one to shed the wolf body and evolve into a dragon. Therefore, the purple-winged wolf king watched very carefully. Each dragon-shaped rune mark was firmly engraved in its heart. Its talent is not weak, and Zhou Yun's explanation is quite complete. In addition, it has claws and a tail, so the difficulty of cultivating these two martial arts is not high. Compared with Zhou Yun, it is actually quite blessed. Therefore, it wasn't long before he had figured out all the key points of these two martial arts techniques and memorized them. With diligent practice, you will surely be able to master these two powerful martial arts techniques in the future. At this moment, Zhou Yun's attention was no longer on the purple-winged wolf king. His attention was focused on the system panel. Today's achievement points are being calculated, please wait. A bright moon rising over the sea? Hiss you, a mere chi martial artist, have actually cultivated a powerful phenomenon? How is that possible? Oh, so it's thanks to the medicinal power of the silver moon fruit. That makes much more sense. Achievement points plus 300. Insightful. You activated your eye technique, your gaze piercing through the surging river, reaching deep into its depths, where you discovered an extraordinary secret realm. Achievement points plus 50. Wow! You've discovered a massive dragon palace at the bottom of this river. Achievement points plus 300. Ha ha ha. Nothing to show for it. You enter the alchemy room to your astonishment to find that someone has already beaten you to it. What an amazing person. They dug 3 feet into the ground and even stripped the ceiling bare. Achievement points plus 6. Azure Dragon King. A tiny carp received an incredible opportunity and transformed into a dragon. You are truly fortunate to have met such a powerful being. Achievement points plus 100. You chose to enter the dragon pillar for challenges and trials. Your courage is commendable. Achievement points plus 50. Breaking through 3 levels in a row, not bad. You successfully broke through 3 levels at the dragon pillar without any major incident, and the 3rd level even required the azure-clad fish dragon king to personally take action. Achievement points plus 1000. Dragon transformation secret technique? My goodness, you actually succeeded in obtaining the dragon transformation secret technique. The power of this secret technique is beyond your imagination. Achievement points plus 5000. 5000? Holy crap? So much? Zhou Yun's eyes widened instantly, and she cried out in surprise. This directly startled the purple-winged wolf king, who was comprehending the martial arts techniques of Skyclaw and Dragon Tail Sweep. What 5000? Why are you making such a fuss? The purple-winged wolf king frowned and said to Zhou Yun with some dissatisfaction. However, since they were in a position to ask for help, although it was ostensibly a mutually beneficial cooperation and it possessed the strongest combat power, it was actually a force that Zhou Yun could control. Therefore, it could only complain helplessly, not daring to get angry or bare its teeth at Zhou Yun, for fear that Zhou Yun would not give it the subsequent secret techniques for transforming into a dragon. Zhou Yun waved his hand. It's nothing, it's nothing. I just suddenly thought of something happy. His face was full of smiles, smiles that came from the heart. It is indeed a happy thing. He has never earned so many achievement points before. Moreover, this was achieved from just one event, not from the total amount gained throughout the entire day. However, subsequent events are unlikely to award many more achievement points. Even so, the number of achievement points he gained today is already enormous. I've gained so many achievement points again. I wonder how outrageous and overpowered the enhancements will be today. Zhou Yun focused his attention back on the system panel to check the achievement point settlement data. Chapter 81, 7777. Strange change. You leave the Dragon Palace and discover something amiss. A large group of sea beasts has appeared around you. Your keen senses detect something unusual. Achievement points plus 5. A group of humans has been discovered. They are extremely wary of you and have even engaged in provocative behavior. You decisively take action, displaying your strength and eliminating all those who have shown hostility towards you. Achievement points plus 200. After obtaining some new intelligence, you choose to leave the riverbed and return to the surface. However, the surrounding sea beasts swarm around you, and one of them sends a powerful sea monkey to intercept you. You choose to strike swiftly, killing the monkey and intimidating all the other sea beasts. Achievement points plus 266. A beast tide has erupted, crisis looms, and it's time to leave the secret realm. You calmly chose your escape route, achievement points plus 80. Damn it! You only wanted to swindle Chen Yangmu a little, but he actually went for the kill. You secretly vowed to kill him sooner or later. Achievement points plus 30. Powerful. A peak tier 3 demonic beast, the purple-winged wolf king, has descended before you. It is the mastermind behind the beast tide. However, you remain composed and choose to negotiate, finding a way to survive amidst the crisis. Achievement points plus 150. Scanning the host's current level in cultivation realm. Current cultivation level is 10-star Chi martial artist, gaining 10 achievement points. Scanning the host's current environment, currently in a secret realm, gaining 10 achievement points. Previous balance of achievement points, 220. Final summary, current remaining achievement points, 7,777. Bomb 7? Hee, this number is auspicious. Zhou Yun smiled slightly, surprised that the final achievement points reached 7777. This is not only an auspicious number, but it also breaks his record for achievement points. With so many achievement points, it must be so satisfying to spend them. No need to worry about the price, just buy whatever enhancement you like. Even after clearing out today's 3 enhancement items, he can still have some achievement points left over to spend on tomorrow's enhancements. After closing the settlement panel, Zhou Yun withdrew his divine sense and discovered that the purple-winged wolf king was still slowly comprehending the martial arts techniques recorded in the 2 dragon transformation secret techniques. With it here, the safety factor is much higher. The beast tide continues to advance, slaughtering human warriors who linger in the vicinity and plundering their cultivation resources. However, the small mountain where Zhou Yun and his group were located was a vacuum zone, and no demonic beast dared to descend upon it. Feng Weihong and Wu Luan also entered a state of cultivation. Throughout their journey, they have been in a constant cycle of being injured, healing, being injured again, and healing once more. Each time, Zhou Yun gave them a considerable amount of earth-fire spirit liquid, and now the medicinal properties accumulated in their bodies are quite substantial. Being able to peacefully seclude themselves for a while to refine the remaining medicinal power in their bodies is something they naturally desire. Seeing that no one would disturb him for the time being, Zhou Yun then activated his divine sense once again and entered the system space. This time, what comes into view is the interface for enhancing selection. Zhou Yun was still presented with 3 enhancement items to choose from. After glancing at it, Zhou Yun's face instantly showed a look of astonishment. Not a buddy? What are you doing? He recognized only one of the 3 enhancement items. This is a huge golden pillar, very similar to the coiled dragon pillar he had seen before, and it is the vessel for the dragon transformation technique. Choosing to enhance it should mean selecting a path to strengthen the dragon transformation secret technique. As for the remaining 2, one was a small, pitch-black stone. The other one was a silver-haired wolf with purple wings. Isn't that the purple-winged wolf king? Why did the option about the purple-winged wolf king appear in the enhancement selection? System, you must be mistaken? He almost screamed out in annoyance. Zhou Yun's lips twitched for a long time. He was truly speechless. The slots for enhancement options are extremely limited, with only 3 available each day. If there's something he doesn't recognize, he won't say anything, just in case it's a precious treasure he didn't recognize. But why did the purple-winged wolf king spawn? It doesn't belong to me. But then I thought about it again. What if this really is a system-generated enhancement item specifically designed to counter the purple-winged wolf king, sensing his current crisis? Thinking about it this way, Zhou Yun suddenly felt that everything made sense and everything made sense. In that case, let me first see what this enhancement for the purple-winged wolf king is. Immediately, Zhou Yun chose to enter the purple-winged wolf king's enhancement interface. Purple-winged wolf king. Comment, a wolf? A wolf with wings? What kind of creature is this? It's like it's been abandoned by its mother and uncles. It's a complete oddity. Enhancement Path 1, Advancement. This purple-winged wolf king's bloodline rank doesn't seem very high, suggesting limited future potential. You can grant it a chance to advance its bloodline power, giving it a brighter future. Required achievement points, 500. Help it advance its bloodline? Isn't that aiding the enemy? After reading the first enhancement route, Zhou Yun was so angry he almost spat fire. Although he and the purple-winged wolf king are now in a cooperative relationship. However, such a cooperative relationship is extremely fragile. Although he can temporarily control the other party by using the dragon transformation technique as leverage, the purple-winged wolf king is far stronger than him. The 2 sides are not evenly matched, and the other party has the power to overturn the table at any time. Given this background, asking him to spend 500 achievement points to enhance the other party's bloodline power would be utterly insane. Zhou Yun pursed his lips and looked at the second enhancement route, hoping it would bring him some surprises. Enhancement Route 2, Nirvana. Since its bloodline is inferior, why not decisively abandon it and choose Nirvana? You can grant it a chance for Nirvana, dissipating its cultivation and starting afresh. Required achievement points, 1000. Nirvana? Dissipate all cultivation and start over? A hint of joy flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes. The meaning was clear. Choosing this route meant that he could directly force the purple-winged wolf king to regress to the state of a cub, dissipating all its cultivation. He would then be able to easily control the opponent, and the current crisis would disappear. Only. Isn't 1000 achievement points a bit too expensive? Zhou Yun frowned slightly, opened his eyes, and looked up at the purple-winged wolf king in front of him, who was closing his eyes, breathing in star energy, and comprehending martial arts techniques. It's a bit pricey, but it can resolve the crisis and save our lives. No matter how much you spend, it's a win-win situation. Moreover, after spending 1000 achievement points and undergoing a bloodline rebirth, the potential of this purple-winged wolf king will inevitably increase dramatically. After leaving the secret realm island, I'll go to the Starry Sky Merchant Guild and buy a beast taming talisman to make it serve me as its master. Either way, I won't lose out. Zhou Yun chuckled, indicating that this was the best choice. Chapter 82, Hundreds of Billions of Achievement Points, Terrifying Enhancement Prices. However, he did not immediately confirm this option. After all, they still need the purple-winged Wolf King's strength to protect them. After this wave of beasts has passed and we reach a secluded place, we can then decide on a course of action and apply the Nirvana enhancement to the purple-winged Wolf King. Zhou Yun suppressed this option, intending to confirm it when the time was right. Then, he looked at the remaining 2 enhancement items. The purple-winged Wolf King's enhancement position was just now ranked 3rd. So Zhou Yun chose to look backwards and then looked at the second enhancement item. This was also an enhancement item he didn't recognize. It was an extremely black stone with a smooth and flat surface, showing nothing unusual about it. Zhou Yun thought for a while, then remembered that this seemed to be the spoils he had obtained from the fat monk's storage bag after killing him. Since it was impossible to identify what the stone was or determine its grade, it could only be casually tossed aside in a corner of the chest jar space to gather dust. Aside from its distinctive black color, this stone is otherwise unremarkable. The fat monk probably didn't know its origin or rank. Because when Zhou Yun found this stone in the fat monk's storage bag, it had been lying forgotten in a corner. He looked at the system's identification and evaluation. Glimpses of the stone. Evaluation: this dull, black rock would be a huge waste to use for forging a magical artifact. It would be much better if it could be refined into a treasure. Enhancement Direction 1, Treasure Brick. Using Shadowstone as the main material, forge it into a treasure brick. Effect: Forced Stun. Stun effect will vary depending on the strength of both parties. Required achievement points, 1000. Enhancement Direction 2, Secret Treasure Cursed Blade. Forge the Secret Treasure Cursed Blade using Shadowstone as the main material. Effect: Forced Curse. The curse effect will depend on the amount of star energy invested. Required achievement points, 1000. Both enhancement paths cost the same number of achievement points. One is a brick with a stun effect, the other is a cursed blade with a curse effect. Zhou Yun stroked his chin, lost in thought. If it were me before, I would probably have chosen to strengthen option 1 directly. It would have been really satisfying to hit an enemy on the head with a brick during battle and apply a forced stun effect. But now. He curled his lips into a slightly sinister smile. Right now, I feel like I'd be happier being a seasoned sleight of hand. Imagine someone hiding in a corner, secretly drawing circles with a cursed blade. Meanwhile, the cursed person is trapped in endless misfortune. Having nightmares while sleeping, choking on food, choking on water, stepping in poop while walking, getting slashed in a fight. Just imagining such a scene is so satisfying, much better than hitting someone face to face with a brick. Although he had already made a decision, he did not immediately confirm his choice. As usual, after reviewing all the enhancement items, we'll confirm the allocation of achievement points before enhancing them together. Immediately, he looked at the first enhancement item. That is, the dragon pillar that floats within the system space. It represents the dragon transformation secret technique that Zhou Yun previously acquired. The secret technique of transforming into a dragon. Comment: a golden carp is no ordinary fish. It transforms into a dragon when it encounters favorable winds and clouds. This technique is excellent, but it may not be suitable for you. Enhancement Path 1, Ascension. The choice to reach the heavens in one step. Perfectly enhance this dragon transformation secret technique, elevating it to a complete gold grade cultivation method. Required achievement points, 1 billion. What the hell? System? You come out here. What is this? Is this price reasonable? 10 billion achievement points? I doubt even Chengdu has that many zeros, right? However, no matter how indignant he was, the system would not give him any response. He stared at the description of the first direction of reinforcement for a long time. It has to be said that 10 billion achievement points may not be expensive. After all, this is a complete gold grade cultivation technique, starting from the first realm of the 5 martial arts realms, the Qi martial artist realm, and all the way to the last realm of the 5 divine realms, the God Emperor realm. A flawed red grade martial arts technique can be used to dominate a city or region, and even establish a powerful martial arts family. The enhancement before us is a complete golden cultivation technique. Its value is self-evident. If there's even the slightest possibility, we'll spend a fortune to acquire it. But No matter how wonderful or tempting it may be, the price of a full 10 billion achievement points is a huge obstacle preventing Zhou Yun from making a choice. System, let's make a deal. Can we get a loan? Or can we pay in installments? After recognizing the preciousness and importance of this technique, Zhou Yun spoke to the system. Unfortunately, this garbage system is inhumane and lacks intelligence, making it unable to respond to Zhou Yun. He had no choice but to look at the second enhancement direction below. Enhancement Direction 2, one step at a time. You've probably already seen Enhancement Direction 1, right? You certainly can't afford 1 billion achievement points, but that's okay. You can choose to enhance a specific chapter of the cultivation technique. Chi Martial Artist Chapter required 500 achievement points. Spirit Martial Artist Chapter required 5,000 achievement points. Heavenly Martial Artist Chapter required 50,000 achievement points. Saint Martial Artist Chapter. Upon seeing this, Zhou Yun's eyes widened suddenly, and a look of joy instantly spread across his face. System, I apologize for my previous attacks and criticisms of you. I was short-sighted. Here comes the installment payment plan, ha ha ha. Although, the achievement points required to reach the God Emperor realm level are as high as 500 billion, the string of zeros that follow seems like a joke, and it is more than 50 times higher than the price of the first enhancement direction. But, at least he can still afford it, right? Regardless of the price, what matters is getting something in your hands. That's what truly matters. Besides, whether it's 10 billion or 500 billion, it's an astronomical figure that's out of reach for him, so there's not much difference. In that case, I'll spend 5,500 achievement points to exchange for the Chi Warrior and Spirit Warrior chapters of the Enhancement Dragon Transformation Secret Technique. He has already reached the peak of the 10-star Chi Martial Artist realm, and only needs to obtain the subsequent cultivation techniques to directly break through to the Spirit Martial Artist realm. In order to ensure the completeness of the cultivation method, he chose to spend an extra 500 achievement points to exchange for the Chi Martial Artist chapter as well. After all, 500 achievement points are not much for him now, it's just a drop in the ocean. However, the techniques are connected seamlessly and can better solidify one's foundation, which is of greater value to him. So he coughed lightly and made his choice. System, for the Dragon Transformation Secret Technique, I choose Enhancement Direction 2, enhancing the Chi Martial Artist and Spirit Martial Artist cultivation techniques. For the Shadow Stone, I'll choose Enhancement Direction 2, forging the Secret Treasure Cursed Blade. Chapter 83, Enhancement Complete. Splash! A crisp sound of gold coins flowing flashed past Zhou Yun's ears. Zhou Yun's balance was instantly deducted 6,500 achievement points. In addition, he still has no choice regarding the enhancement path for the Purple-Winged Wolf King. Once the appropriate time is reached to confirm its Nirvana enhancement, another 1,000 achievement points will be deducted. It's so fragile. Zhou Yun shook his head. 7,777 achievement points seems like a lot, but after upgrading all 3 items, I'll only have 277 left today. The next moment, the enhancement began. A golden light suddenly appeared in his sea of consciousness. This is a golden dragon. Zhou Yun could clearly sense that the phantom in his sea of consciousness was a dragon. However, its appearance is undoubtedly that of a genuine human. Not only in its external appearance, but also in its internal meridian pathways, acupoints, bones, and organs, it is no different from that of humans. Clearly, this is a true human predecessor who embarked on the path to dragon transformation. Moreover, he did not abandon his human identity, but instead took the essence and discarded the dross, absorbing all the essence of the path to dragon transformation and combining the strengths of both the human and dragon races into one. Is this the enhanced dragon transformation technique? Zhou Yun's eyes gleamed with a sharp light, and he seemed to have gained some insights. Previously, many obscure and difficult to understand runes, or those exclusive to the dragon race, were now broken down and explained. The cultivation techniques and scriptures of the Chi Martial Artist and Spirit Martial Artist chapters, as well as the cultivation routes, all appeared in Zhou Yun's mind. He closed his eyes and followed the instructions of the scripture. He quickly dissipated the power of his previous red grade stargazing technique and began to cultivate it again, switching to this gold grade dragon transformation secret technique. Because of his profound foundation, Zhou Yunsan's process of rebuilding his skills was incredibly fast. It only took an hour. He has returned to the realm of a 10-star Chi martial artist. At this moment, a tremendous change occurred within his dantian. 10 purple cyclones spun continuously, devouring and absorbing the starlight energy in the surrounding space. Above the dantian space, 10 small golden dragons were tumbling and dancing, as if they were soaring through the heavens. The little dragon is incredibly lifelike, radiating a brilliant golden light, and looks absolutely divine. Zhou Yun clenched his fist slightly, feeling the vast power surging within his body. Previously, with his cultivation techniques, martial arts skills, and powerful divine sense, he was able to fight against ordinary 9-star and 10-star spiritual warriors. Now, the cultivation technique has been upgraded to the gold level. Their strength has also increased significantly. Zhou Yun felt that he could kill a 10-star spiritual warrior with a single punch. Even martial artists who have just broken through to the heavenly martial artist level might not be his match. However, its actual combat capability still needs to be tested in actual combat. However, once he truly breaks through to the level of a spirit warrior, it is likely that ordinary heavenly warriors would be no match for him. And now, the gold-grade spirit warrior cultivation technique has been obtained. The spirit warrior realm is no longer an insurmountable barrier for him. He only needs enough time to cultivate in seclusion, and he will soon be able to break through. After becoming familiar with his current strength, Zhou Yun refocused his consciousness into the chest jar space. In the chest-themed space, in an inconspicuous corner, Zhou Yun saw a black, sharp blade. It floated silently in mid-air, its entire body pitch black, so pure that even light could not reach its surface. Cursed blade. This is the Shadow Stone, forged into a secret treasure blade after being strengthened and tempered by the system. The cursed blade had no handle, appearing as if it were merely a thin, sharp blade. Zhou Yun gently extended a divine sense and placed it on its body. I did not perceive any resistance or obstruction. The system is reliable as always. Once this treasure was completed, it was already marked with his mark. He was the sole owner of the cursed blade, and there was no need for the refining and recognition process again. Let me test the power of your curse and see if it works. Zhou Yun smiled slightly. He channeled the stellar energy within his body into the cursed blade. The next second, the cursed blade burst forth with a burst of dark light, as if the polar night had descended, filled with an evil aura. In the first experiment, Zhou Yun directly mobilized half of the star energy in his dantian. The effect of the curse is related to the amount of star energy invested. The more star energy invested, the stronger the curse becomes. If very little is invested, the resulting curse power will be minimal, barely noticeable, and will have little impact on the target. Furthermore, it's not just about the amount of star energy. The strength of a curse is also related to the cultivation level of the person wielding the cursed blade and the cultivation level of the target. If the opponent is very strong, far surpassing Zhou Yun, even if he poured all his star energy into the cursed blade, he probably wouldn't be able to have much of an effect on the target. Conversely, if the other party's level is lower than his, Zhou Yun only needs to inject a small amount of star energy to inflict an extremely powerful curse effect on the target. Zhou Yun's eyes flickered as he pondered the target he wanted to curse this time. Qian Yangmu is good. He has a grudge against Zhou Yun. They are perfect to be the first one to be cursed. Only, I don't know where Qian Yangmu is right now. After casting the curse on him, I can't immediately observe its effects. After thinking about it, Zhou Yun had no choice but to rule out Qian Yangmu. If Qian Yangmu can't do it, then it seems that only the purple-winged wolf king is suitable. After pondering for a while, Zhou Yun turned his gaze to the purple-winged wolf king. This thing is just the right size and length. Having had a conflict with Zhou Yun wouldn't feel the slightest bit embarrassed to curse it. In addition, this old guy is quite strong and can definitely withstand the curse power that Zhou Yun unleashes. There's no need to worry about accidentally cursing him to death. Finally, and most importantly, this guy is very close to Zhou Yun. He was able to observe the effects of the curse power immediately after it was generated and what kind of impact it would have on the other party. After making the decision, Zhou Yun instantly conceived the image of the purple-winged wolf king in his mind. In front of him, a transparent figure representing the purple-winged wolf king suddenly appeared. Immediately afterwards, the cursed blade, which had absorbed half of Zhou Yun's star energy, began to operate. It flew out, circled the phantom of the purple-winged wolf king a few times, and then with a whoosh, shot out a beam of dark light that pierced the heart of the phantom. After the strike, the light on the cursed blade dimmed instantly, as if it had lost its energy supply, and it floated lightly to the ground. The phantom shattered instantly after being struck by the cursed blade, dissipating like dust. Zhou Yun also quickly withdrew his thoughts from the chest jar space. His eyes were closed, and his breathing was deep and even, as if he were cultivating. However, this is not actually the case. He focused all his attention on the purple-winged wolf king not far away. He wanted to see with his own eyes what the effects of the curse's power would be. Chapter 84, Cursed Blade. Not far away. The purple-winged wolf king lay coiled beneath a towering tree. The wolf hair shimmered with a silvery sheen, as smooth and beautiful as silk. Although his eyes were closed, his domineering aura of looking down on the world was not affected in the slightest and was still clearly revealed. Streams of star energy converged from the heavens, were drawn in, and were absorbed into the body. He comprehended the martial arts techniques within the two dragon transformation secret arts, and the enhancements they provided. As time went by, many thoughts arose in its mind. Although its cultivation level did not increase, its combat power was rising rapidly. As expected of the dragon transformation secret technique, it is indeed incredibly powerful. The purple-winged wolf king sighed inwardly. However, at that moment, suddenly, a shadow that had long been buried deep in its memory flashed into its mind. Red. Red? It was a fiery red shadow. Its fur swayed in the wind like a blazing sunset, and its four long, slender wolf legs were strong and agile. Each leap was like a drumbeat striking its heart. Those clear, proud, and alluring eyes completely captivated it, making it want to immerse itself in them. Put! The purple-winged wolf king felt his heart clench twice, and then he spat out a mouthful of blood. His aura instantly became weak and feeble, as if he had suffered a serious injury. It opened its eyes, a hint of reminiscence in its gaze. What's wrong with me? Why did you suddenly think of Hong Hong again? It was utterly bewildered, its heart still throbbing with pain. Just moments ago it had been in a state of deep enlightenment, but suddenly its mind was uncontrollably filled with memories of the past. He then suffered a severe chi deviation, his heart meridians were torn apart, and he sustained considerable injuries. Hong Hong was its first mate when it was young and weak, representing the most beautiful memories of its past. Later, Hong Hong died in a fight. Although it avenged Hong Hong could never come back. To forget his pain, the purple-winged wolf king fought countless battles, risking his life and licking his wounds, eventually becoming a top-tier third-tier demon beast, strong enough to dominate the entire secret island. But I've already forced myself to forget. Why did I suddenly remember it again? The purple-winged wolf king was filled with confusion and bewilderment. He had no mind for spiritual practice or enlightenment, he just lay there blankly, lost in thought. Zhou Yun tried hard to suppress her laughter. It seems that this secret treasure, the cursed blade, is quite effective. He suddenly launched this attack, and no one would have expected that he would do it from the shadows. It's different from the satisfying feeling of direct combat, where every punch lands. The feeling of sneaking around and plotting against someone from behind is also quite satisfying. Senior Wolf King. What's wrong? Could it be that a peerless enemy has plotted against you? Zhou Yun opened his eyes wide and asked with feigned concern. It made quite a commotion just now, but for it, it only spat out a mouthful of blood. However, the purple-winged wolf king was originally enormous, and a single sip of its blood would amount to at least 10 liters. Even Feng Huihong and Wu Luan, who were actually in seclusion cultivating, were awakened by the commotion caused by the purple-winged wolf king. However, they dared not ask. But Zhou Yun is different, he dares to do it. Although he didn't know what it felt like when the curse power erupted, nor did he know what the purple-winged wolf king was thinking, he really wanted to rub salt into the other's wounds. The purple-winged wolf king glanced at Zhou Yun. I remember you seem to have some healing elixir, let me use it. Previously, the purple-winged wolf king witnessed Zhou Yun using earth fire spirit liquid to heal Feng Huihong and Wu Luan after they were injured. Therefore, it knew that Zhou Yun had the earth fire spirit liquid. That refreshing and fragrant aroma, that stellar energy scent that almost made wolves tremble. He almost couldn't resist attacking Zhou Yun earlier, wanting to steal the earth fire spirit liquid. However, while the earth fire spirit liquid is precious, it is nothing compared to the dragon transformation secret technique. Moreover, it was not injured at the time, and its demand was not high. But now. It was a time when I was feeling down. Zhou Yun actually dared to jump out again. Since the complete version of the dragon transformation secret technique is not available for the time being, we can only teach it to Zhou Yun one skill at a time, like pouring beans. Let's have some earth fire spirit liquid to satisfy our cravings and collect some interest from Zhou Yun, that wouldn't be bad. Thinking of this, the purple-winged wolf king grinned, and his mood instantly improved. Zhou Yun's face darkened. Damn it! I never expected this purple-winged wolf king to be so shameless. They even had designs on the fire spirit liquid on my body. He did have a considerable amount of earth fire spirit liquid in stock, but he didn't want to give a single drop to this greedy, black-hearted wolf. Besides, it was a curse that he himself had placed on it. If I were to use my own Earth Fire Spirit liquid to heal it, wouldn't that be a complete waste of money? Zhou Yun opened his mouth as if to refuse. However, when he met the purple-winged Wolf King's cold, unfathomable eyes, he suddenly shivered. There was a hint of murderous intent in this guy's eyes. Perhaps, constrained by the dragon transformation secret technique, it dared not kill itself. However, it can still inflict serious injury on itself or make itself suffer. Instantly, his heart skipped a beat. It seems I overestimated the other party's moral character. Monsters are just monsters, mindless creatures that can turn on you in an instant. Zhou Yun sighed inwardly. It's impossible to give out the Earth Fire Elixir. This guy has such a big mouth, and he's a third-tier demon beast. One sip, and he'd probably swallow most of his treasured Earth Fire Spirit liquid. It seems, we have no choice but to act now. Originally, he planned to find an opportunity to have the purple-winged Wolf King lead them to the depths of the secret realm, close to the location of the teleportation aurora. Then apply system-wide enhancements to it, and it will be reborn. Unexpectedly, this old wolf lacked any sense of martial ethics. He was injured but still wanted to use his own Earth Fire Elixir to heal himself. Although, it was my own doing that caused it to get hurt. But it doesn't know that. This is blatantly treating me like a pig, stabbing me whenever they feel like it. Zhou Yun stood up. They walked up to the purple-winged Wolf King. Senior Wolf King, I do indeed possess Earth Fire Spirit liquid. However, although the Earth Fire Spirit liquid tastes good and is quite effective for both healing and cultivation, its grade can only be considered as a second-tier spiritual item. It doesn't match your strength as a third-tier expert. He shook his head inside, his expression suggesting he was thinking of the purple-winged Wolf King. So what? The purple-winged Wolf King's throat twitched slightly, letting out a cold snort. It wanted to see what tricks Zhou Yun was going to play. I have a better spiritual item that would be perfect for you. Not only can it heal your injuries, but it may also allow you to undergo a rebirth, thereby taking you to a higher level. Zhou Yun said decisively. Chapter 85, Rebirth. Become an egg. Upon hearing this, the purple-winged Wolf King's face lit up with joy. I never expected this. There was an unexpected surprise. It excitedly stuck out its tongue and licked its lips, a look of anticipation on its face. Not only can it heal my injuries, but it can even take me a step further, allowing me to achieve nirvana? What rank would a spirit capable of nirvana be? 4th order? 5th order? Or even higher? Ha! This human lad is truly remarkable. His luck, temperament, and character are all to my liking. The purple-winged Wolf King laughed inwardly, and his opinion of Zhou Yun rose considerably. Considering that Zhou Yun was so cooperative, he thought he might spare his life after Zhou Yun had taught him all the secret techniques of dragon transformation. Zhou Yun naturally had no idea what the purple-winged Wolf King was thinking. His face was also plastered with a fake smile. Snort! You seem to be having a good laugh right now. I wonder if you'll still be able to laugh later. Subsequently, Zhou Yun's divine sense directly entered the system space and opened the enhancement interface. A lifelike phantom of a purple-winged Wolf King appeared before him. With a gentle flap of its wings, the phantom howled to the sky, looking exactly like the purple-winged silver wolf outside. System. Choose reinforcement direction 2. Nirvana. After paying 1,000 achievement points, the system immediately went into operation. Not far away, the purple-winged Wolf King was still waiting for Zhou Yun to offer it the elixir to help it achieve rebirth. Suddenly, a mysterious light flashed out from Zhou Yun's body at an incredibly fast speed. Before Zhou Yun could even react, the light had already landed on him. A spiritual object, is it a ray of light? The purple-winged Wolf King frowned slightly. Before he could react, he felt that after the light entered his body, his cultivation foundation was showing signs of instability, as if it was about to collapse and dissipate. Is it just my imagination? The purple-winged Wolf King murmured softly. However, it quickly refuted the possibility of an illusion. This is true. Its cultivation level is indeed dissipating rapidly. In just a short while, he had already fallen from the peak of the 3rd tier back to the initial stage of the 3rd tier. Furthermore, as time goes by, the rate at which cultivation power dissipates is gradually accelerating. Instantly, a look of terror appeared on its face. This feeling is like being passively transformed into the Tao. Despite his best efforts to hold on, his cultivation was completely out of his control, rapidly dissipating and vanishing into the world like smoke. What did you do? The purple-winged wolf king roared, and a loud wolf howl echoed throughout the entire mountain forest, reverberating for miles around. In an instant, the surrounding atmosphere became extremely cold, and a terrifying pressure swept in indiscriminately. The overwhelming and domineering aura of the Demon King was fully revealed at this moment. The purple-winged wolf king's eyes were bloodshot and filled with murderous intent. It stared intently at Zhou Yun, its hatred almost driving it mad. I never expected to be outsmarted by such a tiny human. This is an utter disgrace. It wanted to unleash its cultivation power to deliver a fatal blow to Zhou Yun, determined to drag him down with it even in death. But unfortunately, this incredibly mysterious light within my body, it doesn't look solid, and it's not even close to being bright or dazzling. However, it was like an ancient pine tree with its roots intertwined, tightly binding its body, making it unable to move, and even unable to self-destruct and perish together with the opponent. I hate it so much. Finally, he let out a mournful howl of grief and indignation. Under the influence of the mysterious light, its body shrank rapidly, eventually becoming the size of an ordinary pug. Even so, the process of nirvana and the dissipation of power is still not complete. Its body surface is covered with clusters of bizarre and mysterious colors. A few seconds later, the purple-winged wolf king completely disappeared. Only a white beast egg the size of a wash basin remained on the spot. It turned into an egg? Zhou Yun frowned, a hint of doubt rising in his heart. Aren't wolves viviparous mammals? In the end, after its rebirth, shouldn't it just become a little wolf? How did it turn into an egg? This doesn't make sense. But then I thought about it again, and realized that very few of the things the system did seemed reasonable. It seems that after everything has passed through the system's hands, regardless of whether it's reasonable or not, it all seems reasonable. Zhou Yun shook his head, clearing his mind of all the random thoughts and considerations. He took a few steps forward and hugged the white beast egg to his chest. The eggshell was smooth and warm, as if it had just been separated from its mother. The moment Zhou Yun touched it, he could even sense a divine thought moving and flashing on the surface of the eggshell. He used his divine sense to try and analyze it. Zhou Yun! You son of a bitch, you bastard, you're a complete bastard. Zhou Yun's lips twitched almost imperceptibly. I never expected the purple-winged wolf king to harbor such deep resentment. The old man has already entered a state of nirvana, yet his spirit is still cursing me. Snort! Once you complete your rebirth and hatch anew, I'll torture you 800 times a day. Zhou Yun chuckled. Once it completes its rebirth and hatches again, it will have lost all its cultivation, and he will inevitably be the one in control of the narrative. At that time, he will let this little wolf cub know why the flowers are so red. Brother Yun! What's going on? How did that old wolf king turn into an egg? Feng Huihong was only able to break free from the wolf king's oppressive aura at this moment. He ran up to Zhou Yun and asked with curiosity and concern. I used a precious trump card and turned it into a beast egg. The conditions for using this trump card are very strict, and I just found the right opportunity. Unfortunately, this trump card is only for one use. If we encounter a similar crisis again, I'm afraid I won't have any good solutions. Zhou Yun shook his head, offering no further explanation. They've attributed everything that just happened to a mysterious trump card. Feng Huihong nodded knowingly. It can directly turn an incredibly powerful third-tier demonic beast into a beast egg with no combat power. Even he didn't know about this trump card. It must have been given to him by Brother Yun's mysterious master. This trump card is so powerful that it must have certain limitations. Brother Yun must have spent a lot of effort to find the right opportunity to unleash his trump card. The mysterious master that Zhou Yun had previously fabricated. This moment became incredibly grand and mysterious in Feng Huihong's mind. Brother Yun, you must be exhausted after negotiating and weighing the options with the purple-winged wolf king. How about we have some fried rice to help us recover? Or boiled eggs would be fine too? He looked at the beast egg in Zhou Yun's hand, which was as big as a wash basin. This is the beast egg that the purple-winged wolf king transformed into. They had suffered a lot at its hands before, so now they're just cooking the eggs it turned into food to get a small revenge. Chapter 86, The Arrogant Qian Family and the Haiqing City Defense Army. Upon hearing this, Zhou Yun was both amused and exasperated. Eat it? Make it into fried rice or boiled eggs? Just a casual revenge? This egg took 1,000 achievement points to hatch. It costs more achievement points than it does to enhance a single silver moon fruit. Zhou Yun also wanted to hatch it, wait for it to emerge from its shell, sign a beast taming contract with it, and raise it to be his right-hand man. Therefore, he decisively shook his head and refused Feng Huihong's suggestion to eat the egg. No. I still have a use for this, I can't eat it. After hearing Zhou Yun's decisive reply, Feng Huihong sighed in disappointment. He really wanted to know what this beast egg, the size of a wash basin, would taste like. Let's go quickly. Without the control of the purple-winged wolf king, the beast tide will dissipate quickly. We'll head deeper into the secret island. The dangers along the way will be greatly reduced. Zhou Yun temporarily stored the beast egg in the chest jar space. The rebirth process is slow and cannot be completed in a day or two. The next time we see the purple-winged wolf king will be at least 10 days to half a month later. The three of them traveled north at high speed, and managed to avoid any major dangers along the way, without encountering any powerful beasts. Finally, after more than 3 hours, they arrived at the edge of the secret island. The magnificent aurora borealis was just 500 or 600 meters ahead. The light was like a surging tide, and anyone who stepped into it would be teleported directly back to Haicheng. Call. Finally, we're going back. A smile appeared on Feng Huihong's face. If you calculate carefully, they have been in the secret realm for about a week since they entered it. Many of the things that happened this week were things I had never experienced in the previous 20 years. Exploration, decryption, life or death confrontation. One by one, case by case. I can finally go back now, and my heart is filled with anticipation. Finally, it's time to leave. When I get back, I'm going to sleep like a log in my dorm room until I'm completely stuffed. As one's spiritual level rises, daily sleep is no longer actually a necessary physiological activity. You can use cultivation instead of rest. But the habit they've developed over 20 years still makes them feel more comfortable sleeping. Wu Luan, who was standing next to her, also showed an expectant look. Just then, a cold shout rang out. Halt! His voice was deep and cold, filled with an unquestionable authority. The next moment, 10 burly men dressed in black appeared in front of the three. These 10 people were dressed identically and carried uniform long swords as weapons. Anyone with eyes can see at a glance that they belong to the same faction. Haicheng City Defense Force? Zhou Yun narrowed his eyes slightly and asked softly. He saw the insignia of the Haicheng City Defense Army on the badges on the chests of these men. Although the City Defense Force is named after Haicheng, it actually only obeys the orders and commands of the Qian family and is no different from a private army. No one answered Zhou Yun's question. From the 10-man squad, a soldier with gold embroidery on his epaulets stepped forward. This person has the highest level of cultivation, reaching the level of a 3-star spirit warrior. The remaining 9 people are basically all around the level of 10-star Qi warriors. The development rights to this secret realm belong to Haicheng. Anyone who enters the secret realm without permission will be fined 50,000 dragon coins. His voice was cold and stern, filled with an unquestionable tone. The meaning was quite clear. Zhou Yun and his group were unauthorized stowaways who needed to pay a sufficient fine before they could pass through the group's blockade and enter the aurora-covered area to return to the Dragon Kingdom and Haicheng. Without permission? Zhou Yun snorted coldly. Where did this law come from? The ownership of any naturally occurring secret realm within the territory of the Dragon Kingdom belongs to every cultivator of the Dragon Kingdom. Everyone can enter the secret realm for trials without having to hand over any spoils or pay any fines. His tone was icy as he recited the current laws of the Dragon Kingdom. Zhou Yun never expected the Qian family to be so arrogant, daring to openly defy the current policies of the Dragon Kingdom. Dragon Kingdom's decree? He. In Haicheng, the Qian family is the law. If the law says no, then the Dragon Kingdom's decrees are no law. At this moment, a man wearing silver armor and looking very heroic appeared behind the 10 city guards. His cultivation level wasn't high, he was only at the initial stage of a 2-star spiritual martial artist. However, his tone and expression were extremely arrogant, clearly indicating that he came from a prominent family and was definitely one of the direct descendants of the Qian family. For 3 people, you only need to hand over 150,000 dragon coins. Or you can be allowed to pass through and return to Dragon City if you provide spiritual items of equal value. Otherwise, you will remain here forever, sealed away along with the secret realm. The opening of secret realms is periodic and time-limited. Once the time for the gate to the secret realm to open has passed, no one can leave. A fierce glint flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes. He didn't have 150,000 dragon coins. However, he has a whole bunch of spiritual items of equal or even greater value than 150,000 dragon coins. But should he hand it over to the Qian family's parasites? Absolutely impossible. Not a single penny will be given. Honestly, I rarely get angry. I've rarely felt this way before, so unable to suppress the urge to kill. Base. A black dragon surged forth and landed in his palm. Dragon-patterned black gold spear. A cold, eerie light gleamed from the blade of the gun, emanating a chilling killing intent. His meaning was very clear. They won't let me pass? Then I'll kill you all in breakthrough. Oh? The man in silver armor let out an excited and playful cry. I didn't realize you were so weak, but you've got quite the nerve. A mere spirit warrior dares to brandish his sword and spear in front of me? Kid, open your eyes wide and take a look. How many people here are weaker than you? After saying that, he shook his head, as if he had witnessed the funniest joke. He waved his hand and gave an order to the squad leader whose epaulets were emblazoned with gold. Old Lu, send out a couple of men to teach them a lesson. Let them know what they're really capable of. Remember, take everything of value from them. Just beat these two up, don't kill them. Mount Juyang is in dire need of miners. Sending them to the mines will give them some value. As for this woman. He gently stroked his chin twice, a lewd glint in his eyes. Capture her and send her to my manor. I, this young master, will personally give her a good whipping. Yes. The city defense squad leader, who was called Lao Lu, nodded in agreement. Then, he took a step forward, ready to take action himself. The star energy gathered in his palm transformed into a giant sun, which blasted down on Zhou Yun and the other two. Chapter 87, Kill Them All. Qian Yangmu appears. This giant sun was dazzling and exuded an imposing aura. The surrounding air crackled and popped, and the grass and trees swayed and fell. Clearly, this attack was quite powerful and was definitely a strong second-tier martial skill. In an instant, the giant sun shot out and pressed down on Zhou Yun and the other two. Zhou Yun snorted coldly. Such an attack would be tantamount to annihilation for an ordinary 10-star Qi martial artist. Even some 1-star and 2-star spiritual warriors would tremble and feel their souls tremble when faced with such an attack. However, you're not qualified to hurt him. The dragon emerges from the sea. Zhou Yun thrust his spear forward and unleashed a powerful strike. It was just an ordinary thrust, but its power was extraordinary. It was as if a black dragon had flown out, shaking its head and wagging its tail, so lifelike. A dragon's roar echoed between heaven and earth. The black dragon roared and instantly tore the giant sun above their heads to shreds. After instantly neutralizing the opponent's attack, the black dragon didn't even suffer much damage. The dragon-patterned black and gold spear continued forward, its blade tearing through the air with a piercing whistle, and instantly reached the squad leader. Before he could even react, he saw the cold glint of a gun appear between his eyebrows. Impossible, this. Bang! The cold spearhead pierced through, and the immense force shattered his head. In an instant, red blood plasma and white brain matter flew everywhere, scattering all over the ground. The Qian family member in silver armor didn't even see how Zhou Yun made his move. The squad leader's head was smashed. Standing behind him, he was hit in the face by hot brain matter. The stench hit him, instantly making his stomach churn, and he vomited up everything he had eaten 3 days ago. You. However, he didn't even have time to feel disgusted by the brain matter on his face. In an instant, they retreated backward using both hands and feet. Zhou Yun was able to kill a squad leader at the 3-star spirit warrior level with a single shot. Killing a mere second-level spirit warrior like him would probably be even easier. I allowed you to pass. I can forgive and forget about you killing him just now, and I'll let you go. This young master. I am a direct descendant of the Qian family. If you dare to lay a hand on me, then prepare to face the Qian family's relentless pursuit. The silver-armored man widened his eyes and threatened, his voice fierce but his words weak. Zhou Yun responded with a disdainful smile. I never accept threats from others. The next moment, a spear shadow shot out, like an icy dragon claw tearing through the void, and instantly appeared in front of this person. Sky-cracking claw. When Zhou Yun swung the spear, the energy flow within his body followed the dragon transformation secret technique, sky-splitting claw. Therefore, this attack may seem like an ordinary gun blade attack, but its core is actually the sky-splitting claw. Buzz. A soft chirping sound rang out. The silver armor on this person shone with light, forming a silver shield that blocked his way. This silver armor is actually a precious defensive magical artifact, at least a second-tier one. But even the defensive shield passively generated by a second-tier defensive artifact. Even Zhou Yun's attack was no match for it. After a brief standoff, a loud bang was heard. The shield shattered instantly. At the same time, his silver armor let out a mournful cry, and the light flowing over it dimmed considerably. Clearly, passively enduring this attack was a huge drain on the silver armor. No. You can't kill me. Kill me, and you will die too. There are many of my elders and brothers in the secret realm. A warm, foul-smelling liquid soaked his lower body clothes, but this was clearly not the time to care about that. Yes, my cousin is here. Yang Mu. Cousin Yang Mu, save me. He yelled for help, channeling all his stellar energy, and called out to those behind him. Hopefully, Qian Yangmu, the so-called young lord of Haicheng, can hear his cries for help. No one can save you. Even if Qian Yangmu were here, I would still kill him without hesitation. Zhou Yun snorted coldly. The spear in his hand swung back, unleashing a sharp spear aura. This time, his silver armor failed to produce a shield to block the attack. Zhou Yun's spear struck him instantly. The blade swept across, tearing through the throat and slicing through the trachea. They moved his head to a new home. This adds another Louis XVI cosplay enthusiast to the list. After killing him with a single blow, Zhou Yun had no intention of letting the remaining city defense soldiers go. The spear in his hand swung out like a black dragon, shaking its head and tail, sweeping across the battlefield. Dragon's tail swing. Boom! With tremendous force, 9 ordinary city defense soldiers were instantly struck by the dragon's tail, their sternums shattered and their spines broken. The flesh and blood were crushed into pools of bloody mud, so dead that even the mother wouldn't recognize them. Brother Yun. If you kill them all, and the Qian family investigates, won't that be detrimental to you? Feng Huihong frowned and asked with some concern. The Qian family is a powerful force in Haicheng, and there are also strong figures like Qian Yangmu on the Secret Realm Island. If they have any means to trace the source back to Zhou Yun, that would be an absolute catastrophe for them. No one could escape it. You want me to pay 150,000 dragon coins in tolls? Absolutely not. As for whether killing them will be discovered by Qian Yangmu. Ha! So what if they found out? We'll deal with whatever comes our way. Zhou Yun's voice was somewhat cold. The Qian family, Qian Yangmu. They were already enemies. Even if he didn't kill the silver-armored man, Qian Yangmu would definitely take action against him once he learned that he had left the secret realm alive. Therefore, he has no reason to be merciful. It's all about striking first to gain the upper hand. Feng Huihong nodded. Good. In that case, I will cultivate diligently after I return and break through to the spirit martial realm as quickly as possible. When the time comes, you can cut off Qian Yangmu, and I'll cut off the rest of the Chen family. Wu Wan packed up the spoils and handed them to Zhou Yun. Let's do it together. Just then, a whooshing sound of wind and clouds suddenly appeared. The next second, a young man in a brocade robe with a face as handsome as jade appeared before everyone's eyes. I think I just heard someone say they were going to kill me? You said it? The visitor was none other than Qian Yangmu. He actually heard the last cry from the silver-armored man. At this moment, Qian Yangmu's face was ashen. The city garrison soldiers died, so what? But surprisingly, one of his cousins was someone he had watched grow up. He is one of the direct descendants of the Qian family. To be arbitrarily killed is an absolute provocation and trampling on the prestige of the Qian family. Unforgivable. Chapter 88, Fighting Qian Yangmu, Strange Phenomenon, Eternal Night in the Sky. I think I just heard someone say they wanted to kill me. Is that you? It's you? Qian Yangmu's eyes gleamed with starlight, his gaze sweeping over them like a torch, putting immense pressure on Feng Huihong and Wu Wan, whose faces turned as pale as paper and whose blood was surging. The sheer pressure alone was enough to injure the two of them. Even Zhou Yun felt a jolt on his shoulders, as if a giant mountain was pressing down on him. I've seen you before. Qian Yangmu looked at Zhou Yun and spoke coldly. I'm very curious, how did you few Mirchi martial artists manage to withstand my purple lightning spear attack without dying? And how did they survive the beast tide? The beast tide swept across almost a third of the secret island, accumulating a surging power that even he felt a chill run down his spine. The beast tide came fiercely and inexplicably, but it dispersed without warning. If the beast tide hadn't suddenly receded, the Chen family members wouldn't have led the city defense soldiers to block this place and collect tolls. I'm very interested in the secrets you hold. Hand over all your opportunities, serve me as your master, offer up your soul, and let me mark you as a slave, and I may spare your life. With each blink of Qian Yangmu's eyes, the aura of authority befitting a superior suddenly appeared. Zhou Yun's ability to reach this place at the Qi martial artist level, dodge his own purple lightning spear attack, and survive the terrifying beast tide must mean he has extraordinary abilities. Qian Yangmu wanted to uncover his secrets and possess them for himself. Zhou Yun simply snorted in response. Let me follow you and become your slave? They really don't know their own limitations. I have many secrets, any one of which could crush your Qian family, even if you risked the lives of your entire clan. Zhou Yun gave a soft rebuke, his eyes cold and stern. With Qian Yangmu here, he definitely won't get through. It seems I need to find a chance to escape. Fortunately, this world is vast enough that the secret island is likely just a small part of it, and there are still many secrets waiting for him to explore. Kid, you're really arrogant. Qian Yangmu was amused by Zhou Yun's words. Even if you add up all 9 generations of your family, it wouldn't be enough to know the secrets he holds. Who do you think you are? The royal family of the Dragon Kingdom? If it were Lan Outyan, a member of the Dragon Kingdom's royal family, saying such things, he could tolerate it. But who do you think you are? He's just an unknown petty thief, yet he dares to be so arrogant. He probably doesn't know what death means. He also lost interest in communicating with Zhou Yun again. Just kill him. Immediately, streaks of purple lightning emerged and landed on his hand. A cold, lightning-infused spear materialized. The lightning flashed and moved, like a cold, venomous snake. Boom! Qian Yangmu swung the thunder spear in his hand, and a bolt of lightning instantly struck down towards Zhou Yun. A hint of surprise flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes. What a powerful attack! This attack was much stronger than the one he launched against Zhou Yun before the beast tide. However, when faced with this attack, there was little fear in his eyes, but rather excitement. His strength, capable of fighting a 10-star spirit warrior, is already astonishing. But what about against a heavenly warrior? Even he himself didn't know what kind of combat power he could unleash. The fighting spirit within him surged forth like a raging fire. Purple star energy surged forth from within his dantian. Born for battle, the Azure Heaven demon body felt the surging battle intent within him, and every inch of his flesh trembled with excitement because of this vigorous battle intent. Heavenly Dragon Force! Zhou Yun gave a low shout in his heart, and a dragon transformation secret technique was displayed in his hands. The muscles on his arms bulged up like dragons, brimming with explosive power. With the added power of his boiling bloodline from the Azure Heaven demon body, his strength increased nearly tenfold at this moment. Boom! The black and gold spear with dragon patterns was swung out, moving like a black dragon roaring. Zhou Yun used the dragon-patterned black-gold spear as a long staff, and with the force of splitting Mount Hua, he blasted towards Qian Yangmu's purple thunder spear. Thump! The spears and lances clashed together. A deafening roar erupted. Not far away, Feng Huihong and Wu Luan were blown dozens of meters away by the aftershocks of the battle, like fallen leaves. Streaks of purple divine lightning coiled around the dragon-patterned black and gold spear, then flowed down the spear shaft and landed on Zhou Yun's arms. Crackling sounds. In just one exchange, Zhou Yun's arms were electrocuted until they were charred black, the skin and flesh were torn apart, and the white bones underneath could even be seen. A look of shock appeared on Qian Yangmu's face across from him. This kid has a really strong physique. He took Zhou Yun's shot head-on. The immense power that erupted in an instant startled even him. Just now, he felt a spasm in both arms, his tiger's mouth went numb, and his internal energy surged. You must know, he's a celestial warrior. The guy opposite him was just a lowly Qi martial artist. When they clashed head-on with physical strength, the opponent's powerful physique erupted, and he found himself subtly at a disadvantage. How is that possible? The shock in Qian Yangmu's eyes grew stronger. This child must not be allowed to live. Otherwise, if he grows up, he might actually pose a threat to my Qian family. While he was still in shock, he suddenly saw Zhou Yun open his mouth and exhale a breath at him. Dragon's breath. Zhou Yun gave a low shout in his heart. He had prepared for this attack long ago. Before he even drew his gun, he knew he couldn't inflict much damage on the other person. Indeed, that was the case. His arms were almost completely useless, while his opponent only experienced numbness in the tiger's mouth and spasms in both arms. Fortunately, his second attack, which he had been secretly preparing, was already ready. Call! A burst of scorching heat erupted from his mouth. It transformed into a raging inferno and shot towards Qian Yangmu's head. Caught off guard, Qian Yangmu was unable to dodge in time and was directly hit by the ball of fire. In just one glance, his eyebrows were burned off and his face was blackened by the smoke. Although the damage wasn't severe, he could withstand it with his thick skin. However, the insults were so strong that he couldn't quite take it. Zhou Yun took the opportunity to retreat. The power of the heavenly demon body's bloodline surged wildly, rapidly repairing the injuries on its arms inflicted by lightning. Furthermore, it is also rapidly activating the earth fire spirit liquid, employing both internal and external methods. In just a second or two, black dead skin peeled off my arm, and bright red granulation tissue grew out. However, after exchanging 2 blows, he fully realized the gap between himself and Qian Yangmu. Taking advantage of the fact that the opponent was sealed by the dragon's breath, he decisively slipped away and fled. Kid! You can't leave! Qian Yangmu snorted coldly. Now that he had made his move, he naturally wouldn't let Zhou Yun leave so easily. After a roar, a black curtain of sky suddenly appeared. Eternal Night Sky. Chapter 89, The Moonlight Gathers in the Night, a third-order spiritual weapon. Whoosh! In an instant, night fell. Without warning, the pitch-black night instantly enveloped the world. It was pitch black all around, and Zhou Yun could feel his heart racing. The black sky seemed to exert a strong pressure, causing his breath to churn and his mind to become somewhat agitated. It's an unusual phenomenon. This black sky is a phenomenon created by Qian Yangmu's cultivation. Extraordinary phenomena are exclusive to heavenly warriors. With one's own power, one connects with the great Tao and alters the celestial phenomena. Within his own extraordinary vision, he is the sole heavenly Tao, wielding immense power to control everything with every gesture. In reality, not all heavenly warriors can cultivate extraordinary phenomena. Those who can master the extraordinary phenomena are the best among the heavenly warriors. Strength, talent, and resources are all indispensable. A martial artist who expands a phenomenon can easily fight 3 or more martial artists of the same level within their own phenomenon without being at a disadvantage. Zhou Yun also had his own unusual phenomena. In fact, his extraordinary phenomenon was even more powerful, surpassing Qian Yangmu's eternal night sky by 1 or 2 levels. However, he is limited by his current cultivation level. Although they possess the ability to manipulate unusual phenomena, they lack sufficient stellar energy to unleash its power. This is truly a great pity, otherwise he could have even raised the bright moon rising over the sea in the eternal night sky and directly shattered and tore apart Qian Yangmu's strange phenomenon. Suddenly, a ray of light appeared. The light was dazzling and blinding. Zhou Yun subconsciously raised one hand to shield his face, and through the gaps between his fingers, he saw a figure in the dazzling light. I am the only light in the darkness. A furious roar resounded throughout the heavens and earth. It was Qian Yangmu. Whoosh! He strode forward under the sky, his body shimmering with dazzling light. With a wave of his hand, a brilliant beam of light shot toward Zhou Yun. The dazzling light was incredibly fast, reaching Zhou Yun's eyes in almost an instant. Damn it! As expected of a celestial warrior. Truly formidable strength. Zhou Yun's pupils contracted slightly, and a look of shock appeared on his face. This may seem like a light and easy attack, but the terrifying power it contained was even more ferocious than the purple lightning spear attack he had previously withstood. We cannot defeat them by force. Trying to take the hit head-on could really kill you. You must understand, he is currently within Qian Yangmu's vision. If he is seriously injured by the opponent in one blow, it will be difficult to find a chance to escape later. And he still has serious injuries, and the lightning strikes on his arms from the opponent's purple lightning spear are still very severe. The moonlight condenses in the night. A fierce glint flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes. This time, he directly used all the star energy stored in his dantian, and even ignited the bloodline power of the Azure Heaven demon body. He didn't have the resources to drag things out with Qian Yangmu. We must unleash our strongest attack at the fastest speed. Not only must we shatter this dazzling light, but we must also completely tear apart the opponent's eternal night sky phenomenon and escape from this pitch-black darkness. Base. A bright moon appeared in front of Zhou Yun without warning. The moonlight rotates, casting a silvery glow. Although not as dazzling as the radiance emanating from Qian Yangmu, the moonlight was equally captivating. The moonlight streamed down, like a lake formed from condensed silver moonlight, flowing quietly. The next second, A burst of light appeared, and a dazzling beam of moonlight suddenly materialized. The silver moon in front of Zhou Yun emitted a dazzling beam of light, which shot towards Qian Yangmu's location in the distance. Boom! The two beams of light collided, instantly unleashing an incomparably dazzling brilliance. The enormous explosion echoed under the black sky, and the surrounding area was filled with a deafening roar, as if the heavens and earth were being overturned by this massive explosion. Zhou Yun shuddered as he was struck by the violent explosion, his body flying out like a kite with a broken string. On the other side, Qian Yangmu's face was also filled with shock and even fear. He was the son of the city lord of Haichang, and also a prodigy and a powerful heavenly martial cultivator. Despite his extraordinary abilities, he managed to exchange a single blow with a mere 10-star Qi martial artist and was not instantly killed. He was even injured by the violent attack that the opponent unleashed when they counterattacked. That's absolutely outrageous. Qian Yangmu's left arm was covered in blood, and he looked extremely miserable. However, although the bloody scene was somewhat tragic, it was actually all superficial wounds. The injuries Qian Yangmu sustained in the explosion were negligible compared to his current cultivation level. Even so, Qian Yangmu was still shocked that Zhou Yun could achieve this level of skill with the cultivation of a Qi martial artist. "You little beast, your talent truly astounds me." Qian Yangmu's eyes were icy cold as he spoke slowly. His tone was calm, but the killing intent within it was even stronger than before. "Your physical strength, the quality of the stellar energy within you, and even your spiritual power are all inconsistent with your cultivation level. If I don't kill you today, I'm afraid I'll never be able to sleep peacefully for the rest of my life." Base. A cold, sharp longsword appeared in his hand. The sword blade gleamed with a cold light, surrounded by streaks of precious light. This sword looked extraordinary, capable of cutting hair in two and slicing iron like mud. This was the first time he had revealed his magical weapon. Previously, both the purple lightning spear and the dazzling light and shadow were illusory objects formed by condensing star energy. Although such moves are equally powerful, they are absolutely no match for the power of his sword energy attacks. Zhou Yun struggled to his feet. Qian Yangmu's attack just now was extremely powerful. Even though he blocked most of the power with his Qinghui Night condensation. But the force of the explosion still sent him flying quite a distance. A ray of light even broke through Qinghui Yining's blockade and landed on him, almost cutting him in half at the waist. He covered his lower abdomen with one hand, pressing to stop the blood pressure and treat the wound, while refining the Earth Fire Spirit liquid to heal his injuries as quickly as possible. If he hadn't obtained enough Earth Fire Spirit liquid in the Fire Spirit land, he would probably be dead already. Looking at the spirit sword in Qian Yangmu's hand, Zhou Yun's pupils contracted slightly. It's actually a third-tier spiritual weapon? There is a huge gap between each level of spiritual artifact. This spirit sword is surrounded by 3 different colored lights, clearly indicating that it is a third-tier sword. Hateful. Still not working? A sense of despondency and despair rose in his heart. It is foreseeable that the power unleashed by Qian Yangmu's magical sword attack will be far greater than that of the previous light and shadow attack. He was now completely exhausted and had no strength left to block the opponent's attack. Die! Qian Yangmu gave a cold shout. The sword blade moved criss-crossingly, and a sword light fell swiftly. Chapter 90, Saving the Day. Su Linglong appears suddenly. This sword light was extremely sharp, dazzling and magnificent. Zhou Yun seemed to see a galaxy flowing and surging within the sword light. What a beautiful sword! If I could die by such a sword, perhaps it would be a worthwhile trip? A hint of reminiscence flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes. There is a past life, and there is this life. They were just visitors from another world, arriving and departing in a hurry, failing to make a single ripple, which is perfectly normal. But I'm still not reconciled. Zhou Yun sighed dejectedly. Although I haven't been here long, I've witnessed a dazzling and wonderful new world, gained brothers and friends, found a woman I like, and may even have offspring. One by one, the connections and ties between us appeared in my mind. But what can you do if you're not as skilled as others, besides feeling resentful? Could it be that I can expect a goddess to descend upon me, riding on auspicious clouds to save me? He was amused by the thought that suddenly popped into his head. Indeed, people dream before they die. Just as his thoughts were racing and in disarray, suddenly, a loud explosion was heard. It's like a glass being smashed with tremendous force. Bang! The black sky shattered in an instant. Pieces of the pitch-black sky burst apart like shattered glass. Someone with overwhelming power shattered Qian Yangmu's eternal night sky from the outside. Zhou Yun's eyes widened instantly. Is there really a turning point? Qian Yangmu also showed a look of astonishment. Many people are able to break through his illusions. However, there are very few people still on the secret island, you can count them on one hand. Who could it be? But at this moment, it doesn't matter who broke his vision. The other party's actions have put him on the opposite side. They're already enemies of the Qian family. He intends to use swift and decisive methods to instantly kill the person who made the move. Only in this way can we restore our authority and prevent the Qian family from losing all prestige. At this moment, Zhou Yun was clearly no longer that important. Brush! Qian Yangmu swung his long sword, and a cold sword light suddenly appeared, slashing down into the distance. That direction is exactly where the strange phenomenon of the eternal night sky first appeared, cracking and shattering. The person who attacked Qian Yangmu must have been in that direction. Zhou Yun was overjoyed. The tide of battle turned at such a crucial moment. He then quickly swallowed the earth fire spirit liquid. The goal is to heal the injuries and restore the user's fighting ability as quickly as possible. At the same time, he was also staring intently at the location where the sky had shattered. I want to know who was so kind as to lend a helping hand here. Freeze! The person who made the move had not yet appeared, but their voice had already come through the gap in the sky. At the same time, an ice wall suddenly appeared, blocking Qian Yangmu's way. It completely blocked his sword strike. Even though that sword light was incredibly sharp, it seemed as if the Milky Way was hanging upside down from the heavens. But even against that seemingly fragile ice wall, it couldn't be damaged in the slightest. The sword light couldn't break through the ice wall's defenses. After a brief stalemate, the sword light shattered like a bubble. The massive ice wall, which resembled a crystal mirror, remained standing, completely unharmed. Within the strange phenomenon of the shattered eternal night sky, Qian Yangmu and Zhou Yun had similar expressions. They all looked astonished. However, upon closer inspection, there are many differences. Besides astonishment, Qian Yangmu's face also showed deep curiosity and confusion. After the initial shock, Zhou Yun was filled with ecstasy. Su Linglong. That voice was highly recognizable. He absolutely couldn't have misheard. The person who broke Qian Yangmu's strange phenomenon was definitely Su Linglong. Zhou Yun was overjoyed. Ha, after the darkest hour comes the dawn. My wife has come to my rescue. However, although he thought this in his heart, he did not shout it out. After all, Su Linglong is easily embarrassed. If he calls her wife, she might feel ashamed and walk away covering her face. Wouldn't that put him in danger again? Moreover, his bet with Su Linglong was not yet truly settled. He needs to rely on his own strength, skill, and potential to truly gain the approval of the Su family elders before he can truly be with her. A graceful figure dressed in pristine white appeared before the two of them. Behind her, snow fell in a vast expanse of white, the earth and sky stretching as far as the eye could see, 1,000 miles of ice and snow surging endlessly. Strange phenomenon. A vast glacier. This is a powerful phenomenon that is in no way inferior to the eternal night sky. Furthermore, with the Ice Emperor's holy body now in use, Su Linglong's extraordinary phenomenon was far more powerful than Qian Yangmu's eternal night sky curtain. Linglong, what brings you here? Qian Yangmu sheathed his magical sword, frowned deeply, suppressed his anger, and asked Su Linglong in as calm a tone as possible. His affection for Su Linglong was common knowledge in Haicheng. Even Su Linglong knew about it, although she had explicitly stated her refusal. However, Qian Yangmu believed that Su Linglong was the only one in the entire Haicheng who was worthy of him. Therefore, he never took Su Linglong's rejection to heart, believing that as long as he persisted, he would eventually win the heart of the beauty. Su Linglong looked down at him, her gaze sweeping over him. She parted her lips slightly and replied with words devoid of any emotion. You're targeting my student. As his teacher, I have a duty to lead him out of the secret realm and back to school. After Su Linglong finished speaking, she didn't even glance at him before transforming into a light and ethereal figure, gliding across the sky and landing beside Zhou Yun. Her phoenix eyes swept across Zhou Yun's body, and after a quick glance at his injuries, her brows furrowed, and a hint of anger rose between her brows. But he didn't say much, he just gently turned his palm over. A flash of light appeared from the storage ring between her fingers, and a glittering pill appeared in her hand. Su Linglong personally fed the pill to Zhou Yun. This is the Ice Soul Pill. Refine this third-tier healing pill as soon as possible, it will greatly benefit your injuries. Zhou Yun opened his mouth and swallowed the Ice Soul Pill. His tongue accidentally touched Su Linglong's index finger, and he felt a warm and gentle touch. Su Linglong blushed slightly and gave him a light glare. Knowing that Zhou Yun didn't do it on purpose, he didn't say anything more. Refine the elixir, focus on healing, and I'll take you back to school later. Her voice was like a sweet, cool spring, falling into Zhou Yun's ears, like a bright pearl on a jade plate, making him feel at ease. Zhou Yun nodded gently and closed his eyes. The medicinal power of the Ice Soul pill had already erupted within his body, and the abundant essence contained within it was circulating between his meridians and acupoints, causing his injuries to heal at an extremely rapid pace. On the other side, Xian Yangmu's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. With a whoosh, the magical sword in his hand burst into light. Su Linglong, I need an explanation. Chapter 91, Stepping Up. Su Linglong's tough measures. Explain? Su Linglong chuckled lightly, a hint of disdain flashing in her eyes. Who do you think you are, to deserve my explanation? As soon as he finished speaking, a loud bang was heard. The eternal night sky shattered completely and vanished entirely. Instead, Su Linglong's extraordinary phenomenon appeared: a vast frozen river. Cold. It's so cold. A bone-chilling cold. This world is a vast expanse of white, with the sky and earth blending into one color, and only wind and snow are the dominant hues of this world. Su Linglong, how dare you break my special phenomenon? Xian Yangmu's eyes widened, his face filled with shock. If she broke through a corner of the eternal night sky to save her student, it's understandable that she was unaware of the hatred between herself and that student. But now, she actually took advantage of his unpreparedness and shattered his alternate dimension. Such actions have completely placed them on the opposite side of him. There can only be one kind of relationship between the two people. That's the enemy. A cold glint flashed in Xian Yangmu's eyes. He raised the long sword in his hand, its cold blade pointing at Su Linglong. Kneel down and apologize, then become my slave. I can consider letting bygones be bygones and forgive your offense. Otherwise, not only you, but the Su family behind you will also be held accountable. Xian Yangmu's tone was icy. He meant what he said, and this was his last chance for Su Linglong. Purge my Su family? What a joke! A hint of mockery flashed in Su Linglong's eyes. With a gentle lift of her hand, a giant hand formed from solidified ice suddenly appeared. The palm print roared and slammed towards Xian Yangmu in midair. A look of horror flashed in Xian Yangmu's eyes. Has her strength increased again? Even though his cultivation level hadn't improved much, why was his attack so powerful? After entering the secret island, he spent all his time communicating with and refining the Yuan Magnetic Treasure Mountain. Apart from this Yuan Magnetic Treasure Mountain, he had no other opportunities. Naturally, they were unaware that Su Linglong had found a place of ice spirits on the secret island, and had even awakened the Ice Emperor holy body through it. Whoosh! Whoosh! A series of cold, sharp sword lights suddenly appeared, as if thousands of stars were surging, which was very beautiful and terrifying. However, when it landed on that icy palm print, it only left shallow white marks and could not shatter the palm print at all. Bang! The palm print landed and slammed directly into his body. He was instantly slammed onto a distant iceberg, where chilling gusts of air gathered and instantly froze him inside the mountain. With such meager skills, you dare to claim you can suppress me, Su Linglong? How dare you so brazenly claim that you want to settle scores with my Su family? Su Linglong sneered, her words filled with contempt. Although the Su family did not occupy a city and become its ruler like the Qian family. However, the influence of the Su family in the eastern region of the Dragon Kingdom is incomparable to that of a mere city lord. And this is only the branch she belongs to. The main branch of the Su family, where the direct descendants reside, is an even more formidable force. Therefore, she was not afraid at all when faced with Qian Yangmu's threats. Bang! An iceberg in the distance shattered. A mysterious, earth-yellow talisman appeared in front of Qian Yangmu. Spiritual flames burned on the talisman, emanating a powerful aura. Clearly, he had just used this talisman to unleash an attack far exceeding his own combat power, which was how he broke through the iceberg's seal. You made me waste a precious talisman. Damn it! Qian Yangmu was covered in frost, his hair disheveled, looking like a fierce ghost. He was no longer the graceful and elegant man he had been before. His eyes were filled with a raging, burning rage. All his former affection had vanished. I will suppress you, turn you into a slave girl, and whip you day and night to vent my anger today. Qian Yangmu roared, thunder rumbled, and behind him, long and sharp purple lightning spears converged, each one carrying terrifying bolts of lightning. Each spear possessed immense destructive power. Lightning annihilates the world. After he gave a low shout, the purple lightning spears behind him shot down like raindrops. Thunder roared and lightning flashed. The talisman continued to burn slowly in front of him, providing him with combat power. He held a long sword, a sharp sword aura swirling on its blade. Qian Yangmu rode the sword, attacking Su Linglong. Faced with the opponent's dense barrage of spears, like raindrops, Su Linglong showed no sign of panic or fear. Heaven and earth collapsed, and 10,000 miles of ice were frozen. After a soft murmur, the world seemed to have been put on pause. The howling winds stopped blowing, and the swirling snowflakes were abruptly frozen in mid-air. Those purple lightning spears were also directly sealed by the ice crystal snow. Qian Yangmu's figure, moving on his sword, also fell into the swamp, blocked by snowflakes, and was once again frozen into an ice sculpture. This time, even the talisman in front of him couldn't help him break the seal. Even the spiritual fire burning on the talisman was extinguished by the snowflakes. What other tricks do you have up your sleeve? Su Linglong chuckled lightly, remaining completely calm throughout, as if she were toying with a mouse. Use your Yuan Magnetic Treasure Mountain? You can try to see if you can defeat me by activating the Yuan Magnetic Treasure Mountain. Perhaps, before the attack of the primordial magnetic power was even unleashed, the stellar energy within his body had already been drained? Su Linglong's laughter rang out again. Qian Yangmu remained silent. She's right. The Yuan Magnetic Treasure Mountain is powerful, but its energy consumption is also immense. Qian Yangmu had previously used it with great difficulty once, which had already drained all the star energy from his body. His condition is extremely poor right now. If he is forced to activate it, he might be sucked dry by the Yuan Magnetic Treasure Mountain. After activating the primordial magnetic treasure mountain, he didn't know whether his opponent would die or not. He was certain he would be the first to die. Su Linglong walked lightly to Qian Yangmu's side. A long, narrow, and sharp ice pick appeared in her hand without her noticing. The ice cone shimmered with a precious light like crystal, its sharp tip incredibly piercing, as if it could pierce and tear everything apart. Base. There were no warning signs whatsoever. Su Linglong blasted the ice spike straight into Qian Yangmu's lower abdomen. Snort. Instantly, Qian Yangmu's face turned pale, and he let out several painful groans. The ice spike pierced his lower abdomen, and the icy sensation erupted within him, making him feel as if his internal organs were about to be frozen. I'm giving Qin Jinshan some face. This is just a warning. If you, or your Qian family, dare to lay a hand on my student again, I will kill you. Su Linglong's voice was chilling, colder than that icicle. Chapter 92, Return, Conversation. When Zhou Yun regained consciousness, he suddenly opened his eyes, his heart still pounding wildly as if it were being squeezed tightly. Call. Where is this? Am I not, in Qian Yangmu's vision of the eternal night sky? His expression was serious, and beads of sweat hung on his forehead. Memories flooded my mind like a tidal wave. Brilliant light and shadow, sharp lightning spears, a black sky shattered like glass, and that graceful, alluring figure, as delicate as a green plum blossom. I took the ice soul pill that Su Linglong gave me, and then I passed out. After recalling everything, the tension in his heart eased a little. It must be said that Qian Yangmu was very strong. He was definitely the most powerful enemy he had ever encountered since he was born. Although the purple-winged Wolf King was equally powerful back then, it did not kill him because it coveted the dragon transformation technique within him. But Qian Yangmu was different. He genuinely wanted to kill himself. Only then did he realize that he was lying on a soft bed, with a light blue gauze canopy above his head and a faint fragrance surrounding him, which made him feel peaceful and at ease. My cultivation level? They actually broke through so many levels without my knowledge? Looking inward, Zhou Yun was surprised to find that his cultivation level had broken through at some point. Not only did he overcome the cultivation barrier between Qi martial artists and spirit martial artists, but he also became a 3-star spirit martial artist in one fell swoop. The 10 purple cyclones that had appeared earlier in his dantian had disappeared. Instead, 3 deep purple suns blazed down. 3 blazing suns floated in the dantian world, radiating a solid and vast aura of star energy. Around these 3 blazing suns, 3 golden 5-clawed dragons coiled and swirled, baring their fangs and brandishing their claws. The dragon transformation technique, enhanced by the system, is even more suitable for Zhou Yun's physique. It is a cultivation method tailor-made for him. Vast power flows between the acupoints of the body, and stellar energy surges like roaring waves. Zhou Yun felt that his strength had increased several times over, and if he were to encounter Qian Yangmu again, perhaps the opponent can temporarily remain invincible by using a variety of tricks, but he will never be crushed so miserably as before. Squeak! A soft sound came from the outside as the door was pushed open. Immediately afterwards, a series of light and unhurried footsteps could be heard. "You're awake?" It's Su Linglong's voice. She was like a delicate peach blossom, swaying her slender waist as she drifted towards us. She wore a pale yellow dress that exuded a delicate and elegant fragrance, and a light pink ribbon was tied in her hair, resembling a flower bud about to bloom. "It seems you had a tough time in the secret realm. Every step you took must have required tremendous effort, and you even slept for a whole day and night." She sat down on the stool next to her, her beautiful eyes shining like stars, reflecting Zhou Yun's face. He. It's all right." Zhou Yun scratched his head, feeling a little embarrassed by her sudden praise. "Where is this? Where are my two companions, Feng Huihong and Wu Wan?" At this moment, as if he suddenly remembered something, he hurriedly and nervously asked Su Linglong. "This is my dormitory, a faculty apartment arranged by the school. As for Feng Huihong and Wu Wan, you don't need to worry. I brought them out of the secret realm, and they should be resting in their respective dormitories now." Su Linglong's voice was light and gentle, which seemed completely mismatched with her cold and aloof appearance. "I never expected that when we talked last week, you were only a 2-star Chi martial artist. It's only been a few days, yet he's already advanced and transformed into a 3-star spirit warrior. Such talent is rare even among the major sects and families." Even she felt inferior to Zhou Yun's cultivation speed. It probably won't be long before Zhou Yun reaches the same level as her, or even surpasses her. Hey! Zhou Yun sat up, revealing his well-defined, bronze-colored muscles. "Does that mean I've already passed the test ahead of schedule and gained your approval? Next, all I need to do is go to the Su family, meet your elders, and then we can officially become betrothed?" Su Linglong blushed and quickly stood up, taking a half step back. I haven't decided yet." Seeing her shy expression, Zhou Yun suddenly found it somewhat amusing. Who would have thought that the aloof goddess Su Linglong would have such an adorable side? "I have proven my potential. At the 10th star Chi martial artist level, I can remain undefeated even when fighting Qian Yangmu. Now that I'm a 3-star spirit warrior, if I were to face Qian Yangmu again, I would definitely be able to beat him to a pulp," Zhou Yun said proudly. One sentence made Su Linglong laugh. "You think you can fight him and be invincible? If I remember correctly, you almost died, right? You were down to your hardest part, weren't you?" Zhou Yun snorted coldly. "You felt the harder parts of my body before." Su Linglong rolled her eyes at him and gently patted him on the shoulder. "You're never serious." Then, he composed himself and spoke slowly. "If you really want to come to my house now, that's fine too. Tonight I'll take you to meet my parents. If you can gain their approval, it will be easier to get past the family hurdle. If even my parents don't approve of you as their son-in-law." She covered her face and chuckled softly. "Then you don't need to go to the family, there's no way you'll pass their approval in tests." Then, Su Linglong talked about the situation of the Su family. Her father's name was Su Xingyu, and Xingyu Market, the largest market in Haicheng, was founded by her father. Upon hearing this, Zhou Yun's eyes widened instantly. So all that hard work he did on the beach, gathering seafood and hunting strange beasts, was actually just working for his future father-in-law. She has a younger brother who is 10 years younger than her and is currently a 1-star spirit warrior. Su Linglong's father was the 3rd child in the Su family. The entire Su family, located in the eastern region of the Dragon Kingdom, can be described as a behemoth. The family's influence extends across 11 cities in the eastern region, although they do not hold the position of city lord like the Qian family. However, the Su family members all possess significant businesses in these 11 cities. The Starry Sky Chamber of Commerce is the best proof of this. As for the Xingyu Chamber of Commerce, there are more than a dozen other powerful organizations in their family. While it might be an exaggeration to say that they are as rich as a country, they are definitely not far off. Instantly, Zhou Yun felt a sense of pressure. He had already tried his best to overestimate the Su family's power, but after Su Linglong's words, he realized he had still underestimated them. However, he quickly regained his composure. "Who cares? We'll deal with whatever comes our way. Besides, you have a family, I have a system. It remains to be seen who will prevail in the future." Chapter 93, Charging the Buddha's Wrathful Lotus, Divine Form Cultivation Method. Su Linglong left, leaving Zhou Yun alone to rest in her teacher's apartment. "I slept for a whole day and night. That means that while I was sleeping, the system had already completed a settlement and refreshed 3 new enhancements. Zhou Yun was filled with anticipation and then entered the system space. He did not open and check the settlement details immediately. Instead, they entered the enhancement interface, intending to first see what today's enhancements would be. Dragon-patterned black gold spear. Earth-fire golden lotus. Bull-like strength. Dragon-patterned black gold spear. Ha, it's finally reappeared. Upon seeing the dragon-patterned black gold spear in the enhancement interface, a hint of surprise flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes. This gun has appeared twice before, and each time it has evolved after being strengthened and tempered by the system. From an ordinary piece of rebar, it was transformed into a sturdy spear. From an ordinary weapon, it was upgraded to a first-grade spiritual weapon. This enhancement opportunity has a very high chance of upgrading it into a second-grade spirit weapon gun. The second enhancement item, Earth Fire Lotus, is also quite good. It is a naturally formed treasure born in the land of fire spirits. Although its current rank is not high, it has great potential for growth. This time, having gained the qualification for system enhancement, I am bound to experience a transformative boost. As for the third enhancement, it's the power of the bull. Zhou Yun thought for 2 or 3 seconds before he remembered. This is the martial arts manual that Wang Yan borrowed from the martial arts library. The 7-day borrowing period has now expired, and this martial arts manual is now sealed and locked, making it impossible to read. However, Zhou Yun had previously studied and practiced it carefully in the secret realm to pass the time. With his current talent, such a martial arts technique would be no challenge for him at all. Therefore, although this martial arts manual was originally sealed and could not be read, however, the true meaning of the bull's strength had already been recorded in his mind, rendering martial arts techniques useless to him. Hopefully, this upgrade will bring some new ideas. Immediately, he opened the 3 enhancement options one by one. Dragon-patterned black gold spear. Review, a decent overlord spear. From any angle, it's top tier among its kind. It must have been crafted by a master. Strengthening Direction 1, upgrade. A Tier 1 spirit weapon spear is no longer sufficient for you. Why not consider upgrading it to a Tier 2 spirit weapon? Required achievement points, 200. Enhancement Direction 2, Ascension. There's more than one path to advancement. Upon advancing to a second-grade spiritual weapon, it will gain a unique martial skill exclusive to the dragon-patterned black gold spear. Required achievement points, 400. It takes 200 achievement points to upgrade to a second-grade spiritual weapon. If I pay an extra 200 achievement points, I can unlock an exclusive martial skill for the dragon-patterned black gold spear? A hint of surprise appeared in Zhou Yun's eyes. What else is there to say, buddy? It must be the second direction of strengthening. However, he still didn't confirm his choice immediately, but patiently looked at the remaining 2 enhancement items. Golden Lotus of Earthly Fire. Review, a decent spiritual plant, it even has the potential to continue growing? Enhancement Direction 1, Imprisonment. Inscribe an imprisonment array on this golden lotus, refining it into a precious array platform. Required achievement points, 600. Enhancement Direction 2, Art is an explosion. I seem to have heard of a powerful martial art called Buddha's Wrath Lotus. After choosing this direction, the Earthfire Golden Lotus can periodically generate Buddha's Wrath Lotus. Requires 600 achievement points. Zhou Yun's eyes widened instantly. Holy crap! Another signature technique of Emperor Yan. His eyes burned with fervor. He had already felt quite pleased when he saw the first enhancement direction, which allowed the Earthfire Golden Lotus to advance into a growth array plate. But after seeing the second enhancement direction, I suddenly felt that the Buddha's Wrath Lotus was more appealing. Although he already had many attack methods after acquiring the dragon transformation technique. But who would complain about having too many tricks up their sleeve? Moreover, the Buddha's Wrath Lotus generated by the enhanced Earthfire Golden Lotus can still be stored and charged. Accumulate hundreds or thousands of Buddha's Wrath Lotuses at once and detonate them simultaneously. Does Qian Yangmu still dare to be arrogant in front of me? It could blast his eternal night sky into ashes in an instant. Zhou Yun sneered. Then, the last enhancement option was opened. Bull-like spirit. Review, extremely ordinary martial arts technique. I really don't know what stroke of luck it had to get a precious opportunity for enhancement. Enhancement Direction 1, Promotion. Modify the trajectory of the Wild Bull strength skill, upgrading it to a Tier 2 martial art, making its power even more ferocious and domineering. Requires 100 achievement points. Strengthening Direction 2, Tracing the Origins. This bull force technique seems to have a significant origin. Tracing its roots, I seem to see a trace of the ancient bull god's divine essence. Choosing this direction will allow you to trace this martial art back to its origins and transform it into a divine cultivation method. Required achievement points, 600. A cultivation method for spirit and form? Zhou Yun's eyes showed shock. He was actually able to enhance such a precious item. It seemed that his luck was really good today. Gods have a form, which can be condensed through special cultivation methods. Like other phenomena, divine forms can also provide a significant boost to combat power. Once one masters ancient divine forms such as the true dragon, Qilin, phoenix, black tortoise, and white tiger, it can almost pave the way for an invincible person. The divine form condensed by this method of cultivating divine form through the bull's strength should be an ancient, primordial divine bull. This divine form is not as terrifying as the true dragon or white tiger divine forms. However, in the ancient history of martial arts, there is also a significant aspect to this. Martial artists who cultivate this kind of divine form are equally powerful. Zhou Yun was filled with excitement and made up his mind to get his hands on this enhancement technique. 2 600s and 1 400, that's a total of 1,600 achievement points. I hope I got more than 1,400 enhancement points yesterday. After the last upgrade was completed, he still had 277 left in his wallet. If he hadn't earned 1,400 enhancement points yesterday, he probably wouldn't have been able to acquire all 3 enhancement items he wanted. Zhou Yun felt a little uneasy, as he wasn't sure how many achievement points he had earned yesterday. After all, he really didn't do much yesterday. Aside from running away with Feng Huihong and Wu Luan, he was then dragged into the strange phenomenon of the eternal night sky by Chen Yangmu and passively beaten up. I wonder how many achievement points the system will award him. Chapter 94, Cultivating Divine Form. Enter the Achievement Point Settlement interface. This time, since the settlement was already completed, he didn't have to wait for every detailed item to pop up before he could see his achievement points balance. Therefore, the light screen in front of them was pulled down to the very bottom in one go. Scanning the host's current level in Cultivation Realm, current cultivation level is 3-star Spirit Warrior, gaining 300 achievement points. Previous balance of achievement points, 277. Final summary, current remaining achievement points, 3,060. That's quite a lot. A look of surprise flashed in his eyes. He thought that getting more than 1,000 achievement points yesterday would be pretty good, but he didn't expect that the total balance would be more than 3,000. This can be considered a pleasant surprise. Moreover, the achievement points awarded based on cultivation level have also increased significantly. When you reach the Qi Martial Artist realm, you will receive double-digit achievement points each day, and your foundation star level will advance by 10 each time. Upon reaching the Spirit Warrior realm, the number of digits directly jumped to 3 digits, then successively advanced to 100. Doesn't that mean, once I reach the Heavenly Martial realm, I'll be able to earn thousands of achievement points every day based on my cultivation level? Zhou Yun was delighted to see the changes in the details. Although the price of enhancement items will rise as his strength increases, the increase in achievement points he can passively gain every day is ultimately a good thing. Immediately, he confirmed the choice he had previously made. Instant consumption earns 1,600 achievement points. There is a balance of 1,460 left in the achievement points wallet. This is the first time I've had so much savings left. It feels a little strange at first. Zhou Yun chuckled and shook his head. Each previous enhancement option provided by the system was aimed at emptying his wallet. On several occasions, he even ran out of achievement points when the refreshed items were so good. But this time, there was so much left, and suddenly he felt a little uneasy. Zhou Yun probed his divine sense into the chest jar space, and a black dragon flashed into his field of vision. It's a black and gold spear with dragon patterns. After being upgraded to a second-grade spiritual weapon, the dragon-patterned black gold spear looks even more domineering. The dragon pattern on it is lifelike, with its claws bared as if it is about to break through the sky. Great gun! A brilliant glint flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes, and an boundless fighting spirit rose in his heart. With a thought, the dragon-patterned black gold spear vanished instantly. At the same time, a jet-black spear, resembling an arrogant dragon, appeared in his hand. The long sword is simple and ancient, while the spear is rounded, resembling a pillar supporting the sky. The spearhead is sharp, with dragon patterns shimmering on it. At the spearhead, there is a divine dragon with its mouth wide open, from which the spearhead pierces. The current form of the dragon-patterned black gold spear looks even more imposing than before. He then focused his mind on the dragon-patterned black gold spear, sensing its unique martial skill. Divine Dragon splits the sea. Zhou Yun gave a low shout. This was the name of the exclusive martial skill inside the dragon pattern black gold spear. Once the spear is drawn, a spear shadow will follow. The spear shadow will not cause any real damage to the enemy, but it will indeed attack the enemy's dantian and meridians. It enters the enemy's body, stirring up boundless storms and disrupting the enemy's ability to mobilize stellar energy for combat and attacks. It's like putting a layer of weakness on the enemy. Zhou Yun nodded, feeling quite satisfied. It can weaken the enemy to a certain extent, and with the enemy's strength diminishing and the enemy's weakness increasing, it will surely achieve excellent results in the course of battle. After reviewing the attributes of this martial art, Zhou Yun put the dragon pattern black gold spear back into the chest jar space, with no intention of practicing the spear technique again. After all, this was Su Linglong's teacher's apartment, not his territory, so he felt quite embarrassed if he accidentally broke any bottles or jars. After putting away the dragon pattern black gold spear, Zhou Yun took out another item from the chest jar. Earthfire Golden Lotus. The enhanced Earthfire Lotus doesn't look much different from before. Its two delicate lotus petals are adorned with golden red patterns. However, there are significant changes on its lotus platform. 3 lotus seeds appeared in the center of the lotus platform. Flames are rising from the lotus seeds, and as time goes by, the flames are gradually growing stronger. This is actually the Buddha's wrathful lotus in a charging state. Every 24 hours, 1 flame lotus seed can be charged. Once the seed is removed, it can instantly transform into a Buddha's wrathful flame lotus that can be detonated at any time. On the lotus platform of the Earthfire Golden Lotus, a maximum of 3 lotus seeds like these can be stored at the same time. There is a limit to the number of items that can be stored, which is not very nice. Zhou Yun shook his head, feeling a little disappointed. He also hoped that during the battle, he could use the Buddha's wrathful lotus to plow the ground and unleash a barrage of 10 or 8 lotuses at once. My beautiful fantasy has been shattered. Fine, 3 it is then. If you throw it out unexpectedly during a battle, it can have a surprise effect. Zhou Yun is a person who is easily satisfied. You can't get fat in one bite, and you can't become invincible in one step. Anyway, with the system in hand, he can take it slow and strengthen himself step by step. After figuring out how the fire lotus worked, Zhou Yun carefully put it away. The power of the Buddha's wrath lotus is considerable, and it is tied to his strength. The explosive power of each Buddha's wrath lotus is comparable to his full force attack. With a thought, an ancient image appeared in his mind. On the scroll, there is a depiction of an ancient bull standing tall, its body radiating surging blood energy, majestic and powerful. By observing this picture and comprehending the profound principles within it, one can condense the divine form of an ancient primordial bull. With plenty of time before his appointment with Su Linglong, Zhou Yun, having nothing else to do, closed his eyes to sense the Taoist principles within the scroll and attempted to cultivate the divine form of the primordial wild bull. Rumble! Rumble! The blood in Shi surged and rolled like a raging torrent, crashing against the shore. As the image of the primordial bull solidified in his mind, he felt the blood in his body growing hotter and hotter, as if it were about to boil. Every drop of blood contained a frenzied energy. Moo! Zhou Yun's consciousness seemed to have traveled back to the ancient times, and he seemed to hear the sound of an ancient savage bull roaring to the sky. The heavenly demon body possesses incredibly powerful blood in Qi, which always allows it to achieve twice the result with half the effort when cultivating techniques that require high levels of blood in Qi. As the roar of the bull faded behind him, a faint crimson aura of blood shimmered forth. The image of a wild bull was actually drawn in the void. Although this bull looks very small, like a newborn calf. But unsurprisingly, his first divine form had almost solidified. Chapter 95, The Su Family Banquet Testing the Waters. As dusk fell, Zhou Yun followed Su Linglong into a large manor. In this era, the human population has increased dramatically, and ordinary martial artists mostly live in cramped apartment buildings. Even after reaching the spirit warrior level, one can only buy a house of about 100 square meters by accumulating wealth and earning dragon coins through various channels, relying on their own powerful strength. Su Linglong's family owns an independent manor, which is more than just a simple demonstration of their strength. Ordinary martial artists are not even qualified to have such a residence. Only those from wealthy and noble families can afford it. You don't seem nervous at all. Walking along a long path, Su Linglong stood with her hands behind her back, twitching her knuckles, and looked at Zhou Yun, saying, although she was many times stronger than Zhou Yun. However, at such moments, I feel incredibly tense and find it difficult to maintain a peaceful state of mind. What's there to be nervous about? We'll deal with whatever comes our way. Zhou Yun was completely at ease. So, you see my parents as enemies? Su Linglong's beautiful eyes flickered as she glanced at him sideways. She had heard that Zhou Yun had once said something like that to Qian Yangmu. No, no. Zhou Yun quickly waved his hand and replied with a wry smile, I didn't mean that. After the two joked around for a while, Su Linglong's nervousness eased a bit. We arrived at the villa in the very center of the manor. Su Linglong gently pushed open the door. The warm orange light shone through the crack in the door, giving a cozy feeling. Sis, you're back? I heard from my mom that we have guests today? Before Su Linglong even entered the room, Zhou Yun heard a young man's voice. This should be Su Linglong's younger brother, Su Chenhao. Immediately afterwards, the door opened, revealing a young man dressed in jeans and a white short-sleeved shirt, who looked quite clean and neat. Su Linglong nodded gently and led Zhou Yun into the villa. He gently stepped half a step to the side, revealing Zhou Yun's figure. She tilted her head slightly and said to Zhou Yun, "This is my younger brother, Su Chenhao. This is Zhou Yun." Before she could finish speaking, Su Chenhao lunged at Zhou Yun and grabbed her hands. You must be my brother-in-law? Ha, my sister is finally getting married. Brother-in-law, how much dowry do you want? My mom said that a stupid woman like my sister, who doesn't do any physical labor, knows nothing about farming, and only knows how to cultivate herself, would be a disaster no matter who she marries. We have to give her a bigger dowry, otherwise we'll feel bad. Zhou Yun's expression